couple maps, but now they're headed to City. They knew they needed to move quickly, and they're able to do so.
Look, if you can cause a breakdown over here at gas station and keep on rotating as we look at that next circle, of course you've got two teams out towards Team Aiden's right, and then even one when you've got Destroy Squad still trying
Meu
to...
Deus.
They just popped up over by that low town area, but we're going to keep on scouting and rotate. Now, you did say that this is notoriously one of the Falcons' worst kind of rotating areas, and you have to keep an eye, because right now they're still in pop-off power, keeping with that macro strategy that they know and love. But how are they going to carve out? Are we going to go towards the east, drop it down towards Lowtown, and maybe come in at the Saravan suburbs like we see? Or will they go down south to Cargo?
Yeah, the big numbers here, by the way, again, Omit EU is #1 in red. They already rotated all the way to City towards in-game as expected, right? We know what they do every single time. They go to in-game and wait on the kills, and they all come to them. Next to them, though, is that Community team at High Rise, still their drop spot. What that means for us, by the way, is that Team Community is going to have a slower game in terms of kills because they are already in the in circle. Everybody else is going to come to them. They're going to look to find kills just like Omit EU. That same kind of sides of the coin.
Estão testando o som.
That's all scrap. They're going to play the same game, waiting on in-game, looking for those kills in City.
Well, speaking of waiting, Goon on your screen, off in the distance, and well, when you've got a 3 squad underneath you here, and they're just looking. They're pretty much playing hide and seek, and Gabe doesn't want to be found. If you're going to break a 1v3 down, oh my God, Nectar, okay, you knew exactly where he is. Never mind, you're not even trying to find him, you knew.
Yeah, it looks like teammates off into the distance. Nobody can help here, so a quick cleanup here in Seaside. Keep roaming around this zone. We got a lot of folks rotating in. Off screen, you're seeing Aiden go all the way down now into suburbs, creeping up towards the bottom part of these teams. An early rotation proving fruitful. The Falcons on the north side, by the way, still slowly creeping down with nobody in sight. So we won't see the Falcons on main stage for a while. I'm just going to update you now. We'll check in with them when we need to. But to the sides of the other Falcons, the Falcons MENA team, hunting down Vitality again. This Vitality team was a team that a lot of folks said was a top 5 squad, and they have had 0 success today.
They really have. It's quite unfortunate. And Allman still pushing the issue here, trying to find Steve-O, and he dives out into the water. A brilliant dolphin dive, but now you see the cross coming through, and Allman's like, you know what? I've got to take what I can get. I'll pistol you down, don't think I won't. It gets personal, and he grabs it.
It's like, I don't even have a good analogy. It's like spearfishing, except it's just your body. You just come flying out of the air, land on and pick up the kill. This is Seaside, though. This is way out on the outside of the map, bottom left corner of the map, by the way. They're going to have to rotate up a little bit depending on this new zone. So we're going to try to take a look at this map as it moves from 2 to 3. This will really tell us where in zone's going to be, as it looks like this German squad is on their feet looking for a bit more action. Because again, this is a little bit more in their area of modality. This is where they tend to thrive. You could see the Germans have a pretty good map.
Yeah, we got Pentagon on your screen here, and they were sitting in about that 18th place, which, quite frankly, not going to cut it for themselves. So to start kicking things into gear here would be quite nice, especially when you've got that squad just around them. But they've already invested the mortars. They want to clear off the roof, and, well, that's going to try to be that threat to let them lay siege. But you just see in the distance their Future parachuting on away. They're like, we've invested too much time here. Let's focus on our end game.
Yeah, the home team, Vegas Inferno, are out of here. They said, yeah, I'm not interested in that fight. Off screen, I was going to say, this Falcon squad, they have had a big rotation. I believe they hit a zip across the water over to Old Town, fighting Cloud9. This is where Cloud9's been dropping all day today, and it hasn't been working great. And now down 1, you know these sharks are swimming towards their prey. There's blood in the water, and this is what the Falcons are probably calling free kills at this point. We'll see what Cloud9's able to do. Joe Movement King, unfortunately, when you get live ping, Biffle picks up the live ping. Ahsoka through the smoke, finishes him off. Very well done from the Falcons to make this Cloud9 squad even weaker.
Yeah, it's really tough. The only one left standing, Foreign Jace grabs a vehicle and is just trying to get out of dodge. But that's a roster that when you think about that Falcons interview, right, they were talking about how free Cloud9 actually is. Maybe one of the most overhyped teams, and they're not where they want to be on the leaderboard. But if I'm going to have a bad day, let it be day 1. There is so much more at stake tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a couple of quick notes looking at our map. We're about to move into this new zone. You can take a look at it shortly. We're kind of actually headed up towards bottom of Seaport. That bridge, Seaside, Seaport, top side of City is likely we're going to end up. This is going to be a very interesting zone. On the far right-hand side of that zone, you're going to have Na'Vi gatekeeping some of those squads, maybe even the Falcons. And on your screen right now, this is the squad that's been here since the beginning. And well, they're doing community things. They are finding kills even when they've been here since the beginning. And this could be a slower game for them. They are trying to hunt their opponents because they know and they have the confidence to say we are the best team here. We know we can push fights even if we have a disadvantage like low ground.
Look, I mean, this is the squad. They start on that ultimate high ground. They're just on the outskirts of their drop spot, but they have to be smart about where they're going for their engagements in order to rack up those eliminations, because we know they need a record-breaking game again to at least thrust themselves to the top of the leaderboard. They were 20 so points away from the Falcons, and you can't imagine that the Falcons are going to have a, you know, less than 20-point game because they've already dropped their double digit. They're 10, right? That was uncharacteristic of them. So you have to not only overperform for yourself, but outperform the Falcons in order to breach that points disparity.
Well, one of the other things we know about City Circles, albeit it might be a hair north of City, is that there's going to be a lot of teams alive as we move towards the end game. Currently in the mid game, we've only lost 6 teams and nearing still 100 players on the map. We're going to likely be still around 70 moving into Circle 5, pending where this next zone goes. If it continues to head northern and as far west as we can go, there's going to be a lot of folks in the water, and it's going to get real weird real quick towards the end game. So I'm kind of biding my time as well, taking a look at this one. We do see Aiden's team being contested. I was worried this was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen this quickly. The Falcons find Aiden and pick him up, no problem. Now with the player advantage, they're going to try to push the equation as per the usual. Looking for the rest of this team as Zisma gets cut down. Where is DJ Moss? Somehow the rat scurried out, hit the water, and maybe swam across the road.
That's exactly what I would do. I would look for a regain. You can see DJ Moss just underneath the bridge, just trying to get out, find a way to get the teammates back on in. Aiden Zisma in the gulag, but hey, you never know. Will they be able to bring the benefits? But DJ on the stairs here, a smoke to give him a little bit of reprieve. But we don't seem to have too many resources, so hopefully Aiden versus Robstar in the gulag, we can get him.
Voltei, time. Voltei pra torcer pelo Brasil.
Thus far, I think they've won, I guess.
Voltei pra torcer pelo Brasil. Vamos lá, Brasil.
In his position in the top 5, though.
Brasil no Mundial.
Misses as well. A nice
Meu Deus. Próximo ano eu vou, hein?
nice win.
Próximo ano.
In the gulag, especially on land.
Vou começar a montar o time pra jogar o Mundial do ano que vem. Vocês vão me apoiar. Vocês vão me apoiar. Tenho certeza. Que vem eu tô lá nessa bagunça aí, se Deus quiser. Vou vender casa, vou vender a porra toda pra estar nessa porra do ano que vem.
And who do we look at? Teemo Mid EU, they've already found themselves dead center of zone.
Yeah, this zone is proving very difficult for the rotation.
5 milhões paga, né, mano? Se ganhar, paga.
But they are hunting edge of gas. They are used to that. They're used to pub stomping. Sometimes they pub stomp in customs, and we'll see if they're finding a lot of eliminations along the way.
Olha, tem gatinho aqui, vem pegar ele, pra ele não cagar aqui, por favor.
Into the west rather than coming down the other side through Seaport.
Leva esse daqui. Leva esse daqui.
If anybody gate,
Leva.
take a look here with Aiden.
Pra não cagar aqui.
Listening to see where their brains are at right now.
Pra não bater a cabeça aqui, vá.
Free spot on the
Fecha a porta, pai, quando tu passar. Fecha a porta. É pra não bater com a cabeça aqui. Pega ele, pai! Pega, pai! Rapaz, não é foda. Foi tu que trouxesse isso pra cá, foi? Vai, mano, leva ele. Ai, meu Deus. Rapaz. Se cagar aqui vai ficar uma catinga terrível. Vem pegar teu gato, Sandra. Olha, Andrew, vem pegar ele. Fecha a porta aí, fecha a porta. Fecha a porta, por favor. Se ele não passar, vai. Pode fechar a porta. Pode fechar. Isso, garoto.
There goes a lot of headies. Gotta wait in the room. They could be camping in the room. Yeah, like down below.
Meu Deus.
Yeah, we're good. We're in a good spot. I think we play holds here, bro.
Yeah, right here. Look.
Easy. Dealer too, okay.
Shoot it. One. Other one here. Yep. Crack him. They're both in that tunnel, bro. Can you not peek down there and kill?
Look over here. Look
Right here. Look.
Okay,
Same spot. I'm looking right.
Meu Deus, o time do Aiden se manteve, viu, mano? Se manteve lá em cima, mano.
All right, so here's what we're seeing. A lot of cohesion from this squad and the way that they're able to break down information from DJ Moss, not only saying, I think I got live, let me wait out the timer, and they do, they convert that. But while this is going on, let me just talk about the Falcons, and they are doing such work over on that outskirts of the zone to make sure that they clear out that side of the rotation. Not only do they take out Team Super Evan, they set their sights on other ones, and Aiden, well, they just keep on crawling through it. Baba Huff down and out, and this is a game where I'm finally happy to see everything coming together for this roster.
Yeah, I gotta say, those might be the cleanest comms I've heard in a very long time. Very well done from this trio to be able to make it to the new zone. But again, the zone pulls further and further west, which means we are way out on the coast, just south of the bridge that connects it to Seaport District. So be curious to see what they can do. Here's a quick look at that replay, by the way. This is the team that was holding them. The Wolf on the other side gets cut down immediately with a tranquilizer dart as Ahsoka and the Falcons come swooping in and clean up this team with little to no problems. A great take, especially because Ev's team had been here for a while. We were watching it on the map, and a fantastic play from Ahsoka and his teammates to get the full cleanup. The Falcons are on top for a reason. That was well executed to still have all three alive on one of the most difficult rotations they could take.
And here's why this is so important, right? When we look at that replay and we were sitting there with Team Aiden, this is all occurring within 100 meters of each other. They're still on that eastern side of things. And when you've got to think about how can we go all the way to the west towards that coastline through the squads like Omit EU that we know have been so consistent today, and a lot of our squads that are still kind of working towards that. Even teams like Team Echo still up and in it. They've decided to position themselves on that south side alone.
Here, here's a look at that map, by the way. Red 1, omit EU. That is not a call sign for a Star Wars X-Wing, all right? Red 1 is in there, right in the middle of the zone, exactly where we expect in-game to be. They've done this every single map. They're on top for a reason. The Falcons on the other side are the exact opposite. They're on the edge of zone, having to rotate in far all the way to the western side. The longest rotation, frankly, you could probably take to this spot, and yet somehow, some way, they're likely going to be top 10, and maybe even more. Only time will tell. But Omit EU is not on the high ground in-game. They're actually on the low ground, and look who's right next to them. You've got Omit NA, who's had a mediocre performance today, looking to better that, but only with 2 alive.
Are we about to see some omit on omit violence?
That's
we
right.
saw just what that rotation looked like for Falcons, but from the south on that, we see Team Aiden. And
Eu queria que o Aiden ganhasse, mano. Na moral.
punished for peeking out, but we don't fall there, and that's going to be so important. And now we can look to swing this and break this down. Aiden looking for double digits on 7.
Yeah.
This is going to be crucial as we navigate our way just on the outer edge. We're still going further west.
Everybody's doing the same thing. Look how many teams are on the edge of the zone. I told you this rotation was brutal. Aiden's team's able to get to this piece of cover first, but they still have a long way to go. And it looks like one team's already ahead of them. That orange 3, that's going to be that Uno Gaming squad partnering with West Esports. That's Nitots, Dizzy, and Vita lying in wait, waiting for this rotation. And who will get there first is the big question. Look who's on top, by the way. Community's still in it, but it might just be Dongi last life with this team. Right now playing a solo. We know what Dongi can do. He can win 1v3s. We'll see if he can maybe pick up Savvy Ultra's entire team by himself, or maybe the help of a third party from Camps.
Look, Dongi doing what he does best, throwing down the PDS. He's
A granada tá muito forte, mano.
4,500.
Tá muito forte a granada, mano.
A 2v1 swing there.
Na moral.
Pick up even more, and we'll think about those rotations and how much they're worth. And Soka on double digits. Instead of going for the clean rotate towards the north, they say we want more. We want to get all of the eliminations, as if that 44-point win wasn't enough for them.
Yeah, this is the problem when you force the Falcons to take the hardest rotation in the game by moving the farthest and running a marathon. They're finding so many kills along the way. It's 14 between 2. I'd love to take a look at Biffle and see where they're at, because they've made it to zone somehow. And look who's above them. It's Team Aiden. All 3 alive again, looking very comfortable as Team 24 comes rotating in and getting shot from about 7.
Soca tá bem, hein?
Chaos in this zone, but now the final
O time do Soca ganhou 2, velho. Tá, pô, mano.
it's just for the fight, so you don't have anybody shooting you in the back.
It's all Team Aiden, it's all Team Falcons. It's been them since the dawn of this match number 5. Think about how many times we've seen them run into each other, and it's going to be the difference maker. But Aiden
caiu.
hit that res, especially when you've got
Esse time do Colony aí, dos K, mano, tá jogando muito, velho.
Right here, aside from Papa Vita, these are 3 of the top 5 right next to each other. All
Tá jogando muito esse cara, velho.
yeah, Yet again, resource management, everything when it comes to the Falcons, and luckily, not really skillfully, they have so much cash in their pockets so they can buy whatever they need for this final fight. Somehow, some way, they took the hardest rotation and for free go to new, and they're in the new zone trying to find a semblance of a piece of cover. Right now, they've got to make sure they don't get shot in the back as they're trying to address the teams that are going to be jumping off this building with Omid EU running down the bottom side.
Meanwhile, that NA wildcard got wiped from the face of the earth. Blue team Echo, and they set their sights now on the remnants, but I saw that self-res going through, and they get cleaned up from the cross. Down and out we go. Omid EU, they still have high ground, likely making that PDS play from the inside, and well, the Falcons, Soka and Biffle, the duo without Shifty here, are going to go clean up crew and try to make sure we can grab as many, but here comes Omid EU.
Top two teams fighting, the top two teams today, the top two teams maybe on paper. Who's going to get better at each other? Hisoka from behind wins the one, wins the two. Will he win it all? Yes! Shoots the bodies. The Falcons came to make a statement. They've already done it, and they're adding insult to injury.
Oh, Soka doing solo shenanigans, but Team Aiden still here as well, and they've all three players upstanding. You do still have King AJ and Vision over towards that left, but
Galerinha, eu vou começar a montar time pra treinar para o próximo Mundial, hein? Pra tentar a classificação pro próximo Mundial, gente. A partir de hoje, começar já a pensar no próximo Mundial. Vou pensar em ter meu próprio time pra competir, tentar classificar, né? Pro próximo Mundial. Quem que quiser colar aí, mano, pra gente tentar montar um time bacana, mano, aí treinando todos os dias aí, mano. Vai ser massa demais, uma experiência única. Desde já conto com o apoio aí de vocês aí, mano. E aí, tamo junto.
Get the 2x multiplier, jump up this leaderboard. This is a massive moment, but I gotta just say, you can never count out Ahsoka. Some crazy play, a couple thermites though. Ahsoka gets cut down. Team Aiden on top with a massive game. Z-Smith, DJ Moss came to make a statement of their own, and they've...
Ô, velho, ganharam outra, mano.
they do, and you can see Aiden's family right there, front and center, cheering him on. We know we got Maddie in the building and the entire DJ Moss fam. Z-Smith has...
Ganhou o Aiden, mano. Ganhou outra, mano.
competitive Warzone, whether it was a different format. I'm talking those kill races back in the day, the 2v2s, and to see him get a win here on the LAN stage, man, that just hits absolutely different.
It certainly does, and I gotta just say, I think they were listening to the broadcast. They said, "What? We haven't been in the limelight yet. How about we kill half the lobby and then win the map?" An absolute banger of a map with a 2x multiplier. I can only expect that to be one of the best games today. I think the best score from the Falcons right now is 44 points. I think it was 22 kills and a win. That game looked like at least that and then some. You're going to see Team Aiden maybe not jump to the top of the leaderboard, but pretty dang close.
You know, it's crazy. We were watching that game and I was like, do you remember when I was saying all about, like, I've seen DJ Moss the absolute most out of any player here. And I was like, this is a premonition. Maybe he wins the solo YOLO. I wasn't actually saying like, oh, we're going to go win this match. And it comes through, but I still got you for the solo YOLO, my guy.
Yeah, and I got to say, too, you got to remember the top two teams in that map had some crazy rotation to get all the way to the west side on the coast. I mean, you have one team landing Superstore, which is nearly as far northeast as you can go, aside from military. The other team lands Popov and comes all the way through the eastern side and then back across, trying to make a cursive S. A crazy moment, big rotations. Let's take a quick look at the last stand, see how it all played out, and see what we maybe missed. And Tiff, I think the big note here again was that the top three teams, or three of the top five teams, all were fighting each other on the same side of the zone, but it was Team Aiden that actually made the rotate out. And this massive play from Ahsoka set the Falcons up for a crazy...
Ahsoka detonou, mano.
Seconds delay. Push by Enkyo in general.
Com pontuação muito alta ele.
Slower than the rest of his squad, and that delay kind of gave them a fragmented fight as they were just piecing them together. And there was a push just before this from Team Echo straight towards Team V8 and Vision and King AJ. When you think about that third party, that crossfire that came in that took out Team Echo really helped them stay alive because they were able to reset as a duo. And then Team Aiden takes them out. Then we look towards Ahsoka, who just, I don't know what kind of God gifts we're getting from this guy, but he finds PDS after PDS, gets the full reset. And I was like, what are we going to do with this LTV? How are we going to make this 1v2 happen? Because I was like, you cannot let him get away with that. Pops out the LTV, and Team Aiden honestly cleans it up quite nicely.
Yeah, if Ahsoka won that, I would have gone home. Let's be very clear. I'm leaving. I'm going home. I'm letting somebody else cast. What an amazing event. What an amazing map from Team Aiden. And I don't know if it was DJ Z Smith Z-Smith, Aiden, whoever made the call, but whoever did, to rotate out and then make the play for in-game, a perfect IGL call to win it all. We got to head down to the stage and hear from my friend Z-Smith and, of course, Miles the Ross.
Thank you, Coach. That's right, Smith. Congratulations, man. A massive win. You guys have shot up the standings. We'll get a finish count in a moment, but congrats, man.
Thank you. I feel great, dude. That was incredible. That was the craziest game I think we've ever played.
It looked crazy from the outside. I mean, you guys, the vibes are high in the camp, right? Like, everyone seems like they're having a good time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this team, dude, no matter what, even when we're not doing well, we just have fun. We go out there, we have fun. And that game just felt like the whole time we were just screaming and yelling at each other. And we were just in the blender, but we ended up making it happen. It was crazy.
Is that your secret to success? Is it just pure fun?
I mean, you got to have fun. If you don't have fun, you're just going to get slammed.
Words to live by. Well, mate, congratulations again.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the rest of the competition. One more big old drop to go before we get to that solo yellow. Des, it's back to you.
All right, Miles, appreciate you. Z-Smith, man, good knowledge out there, right? So you gotta have fun. If you're not having fun, you're not gonna win. I fully agree with that, by the way. You definitely have to have fun. Look, big win from Aiden and co, especially perfect because we had that listen-in, which was cool, calm, and collected. Aiden and his roster was looking great. We've been talking all day, Gio, about Aiden. We haven't seen much of them, but Game 5, we saw a lot of them. When it mattered most, they get the win.
I have to be honest, like, you bringing up that point is really poignant to me because hearing Z-Smith say, oh, it felt like we were yelling at each other the whole time. Yelling where? Like, that was such a good section of comms that we got to listen to.
Yes.
And, you know, they had a really good run throughout the entire drop. What we've seen from some teams is, of course, they, like, pop off towards the end. But they had their first pop-off in C1.
Yes.
And so, you know, they had these, like, amazing comms throughout the whole thing, and yeah, so yelling at each other. I don't know what that's all about, but you know, whatever works for you, I guess.
I mean, like, what stuck out to me too during that listen was how vocal DJ was.
Yeah.
DJ's not usually this guy who's in the comms, and the second we go over, he said, yo, I think we hold here, I think we gatekeep, look over here. Like, he's getting vocal with the boys, and it's not surprising that when we see that happen, they have their biggest game of the day yet. Let me tell you what, I'm supposed to be composed up here. I am stoked right now that these three just won this map. Those are the boys. I'm super excited.
When you're put under pressure, like the competitors are on that stage, it brings out something in you didn't know you had. And I think we're starting to see that from several individuals we've covered all day long. Let's look at our highlights because there's so much to get through. And I want to start off, D'Angelo, right back at you. Yeah. Falcons. They did not have an easy game. Actually, we start off right looking at them in trouble a little bit, but talk to me about Falcons. Their grind to get that second place.
Yeah, it was just a grind on rotation, on rotation, on rotation. They never got one easy. But this is the type of game that you look at when you look at this team and you say, this is what's scary about them, because they're not just, oh, making these great, fantastic plays and executing perfectly. It's like, no, they ran up against squad after squad after squad and executed a strategy that was just so beautiful to get them to that end game. They just are able to play around, and it all ends up with Soka being the last one alive. Tries to make that classic Soka gas play, throwing the PDS on the LTV, trying to find a buy. I think he thought there was a buy at that building. I don't think there was in this map. So unfortunate for him just to not make that read. But either way, second for this team, still fantastic.
Yeah, and if people don't know what we're talking about, Hisoka loves to gas plays, and he will drive as far as he needs to go so he can get a revive. This time, obviously, like you said, no shops around, but he did have the PDS. He throws that down, gets second place because of his good efforts. Also, well over double digits. He had a phenomenal game, and the first time we've seen in-game shooting of bodies. Hisoka was laying it down, and then Aiden returned it right again in those final moments. V8, though, also had an incredible game, Enigma.
Yeah, they did. They finally show up here in Vegas. They were the team that came first in the EMEA finals. They were fourth in groups, fifth in losers round 2. They're really, really strong side. This is Vision, AJ, and Showstopper, a team that put up serious kills on the map, averaging about 11 kills per map, and that is the fourth highest across the region. So definitely a team to watch because they've got great points of view in terms of slaying out. But one of the risks has always been their high pace of play, can then see them cut down early, and I think that's what we've been seeing through this. See them get through to the late stages, absolutely wonderful. I said as well, you know, right at the top of the show, that this is one of my teams that I predict to take the whole thing, but I do think that they've got a lot of things to fix before we get to having that be a serious conversation, and I'm a little bit worried that the slow start did affect them here in Vegas. So definitely hope to see them haven't stepped up a bit more.
Yeah, well, you mentioned earlier, too, it was like some teams are slowing down when they should be speeding up, right? V8 clearly speeding up and looking a lot better. There it is, Team 8 and 8, and DJ Smith taking game number 5. And
Team 8
they should, hey, Gio, they should be in a lot better position this time than they were last time. They were already within that top 5 conversation. What's the sweet spot, right? It's 5 through 2nd. You're getting those 30 points heading into tomorrow, and I think they're set up quite nicely for that.
They've jumped up to 3rd.
Have they?
Spoiler, they've jumped up to 3rd. From
Unofficially,
5th.
okay.
Yeah. I checked. I've got the people let me know. So yeah, no, they're in a really good spot now.
Sure.
Yeah, given that they were in 5th, it's not like they were in a terrible position or anything like that, but it definitely cements them more. And, we only have one more drop after this.
One more drop.
Or at least today, anyway. So they're in a pretty solid position when you're considering the kind of advantage that you want to go in for, into tomorrow with.
Right.
So yeah, just about like carrying that forward into the last drop, but I don't really think they have anything to worry about at this point.
I think a lot of it's about belief, though, right? Like, they are a great team, and then, you come out, you're having a great performance, but I think that then you come out there and get a map victory. You kind of remind everyone who you are, right? Like, we love these boys. I mean, I'm not supposed to talk nicely about them. They are a wonderful trio of human beings,
Sure.
and to come out and put up a performance like that, I've spoken about how great I think Z Smith is. Aiden, obviously, a wonderful competitor in our space, and then DJ Maswell, I know why you like him so much, my friend, but it's definitely a trio that we want to see step up and be a part of the conversation, the battle, the bloodbath that we're hoping for tomorrow.
Right.
That announces themselves here this weekend, says that they can definitely be a part.
The other thing, kind of Gio's point too, is like, yes, they were in 5th, they're already having a great day today, but having a game like that is like you said, the confidence builder they need for, yes, they knew that they coming into this were probably going to be one of those 2nd through 5th teams,
Right.
very strongly poised to be able to be first here today. And I think what that is that's more like a sort of a justification in everything they have been training for, everything they've been doing the last 2 weeks. It is basically a check mark that, like, yes, we know what we're doing, and this is what's going to help us tomorrow,
Yeah.
even though, we might only be coming in with 30 points as opposed to 40,
Right.
but they're going to use that 30 to potentially win the entire thing.
It's match point. For the first time in Warzone history, it's going to be match point on the global stage. Anything goes. We've never seen this, at least at this level, on land. So the reality is we don't know how it's going to unfold, regardless how each and every team is playing. But that confidence builder, that's a great point. We'll continue that narrative going into tomorrow. Still 2 more games to go. I say 2 more. 1 more game to go here for the points leading into tomorrow, your bonus points. But we still have solo YOLO. So you want to stick around even after game number 6. Let's look at our heat map for the landings of that game number 6, and well, it was kind of all over the place, but southern regions starting to see a little bit more activity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be honest, some of these teams still looking to contest each other around those city drops. It's interesting to see that multiple teams land around Manor. I'd be very curious to find out exactly who that was who landed around with Enkyo and Co. But then that bottom left-hand corner, that's typically really quiet in terms of landings. There's usually not too much profit found there. So to see teams starting to spread out, I think that this is a part of these teams that are not doing very well, finding new places to try and set up a foundation for the rest of the game.
Setting up a foundation is critical. And what is that foundation for those teams who've been struggling? They've clearly worked hard today, Danjo. They've worked hard to get to this point. Now they're looking to break into that sweet spot of top 5. What do you do? Drop number 6. Full sin. Do you switch it up? Do you change up what you've been doing, or do you just kind of let it go and let it ride?
Yeah, I mean, if you're one of these teams who hasn't been performing well here today, yeah, I think you just kind of heat check yourself. Really test the limits of your team. Get aggressive. Maybe normally where you wouldn't take a fight, push yourself forward. Say, what's going to happen if we try and push this team right now?
Right.
If we just maybe try and play third party. Try and do these things that you're going to rely on tomorrow. I know it's a little late to try and get reps in, but the fact of the matter is this is going to be your only unique opportunity for this lobby in a setting like this to be able to do that. So I think if you're one of these teams who going into the last final map, yeah, maybe you're out of some points, you kind of feel comfortable where you are, try something a little bit different right now because this is the time to make it happen.
All right, time to make it happen. 1 more game to go for the bonus points. Who will take the final game and get that confidence booster? Right now, Falcons, they're on fire, but Aiden also showed some life. And, well, mid-EU, will they wake up from their little slumber that they've currently had over the last couple of games? Season 6 is about to be underway. Let's see what's in store for you.
Gone dark. We'll split up. There may still be survivors. Let's move. Helmet cams are up. Stay frosty. Movement. Rocket, come in.
Enemy movement. Also spotted.
Does anyone have eyes on him? Report. Everyone fall back! Repeat, fall back!
Mundial, eu acho que tá sendo o melhor mundial dos últimos anos, mano. Na moral.
Does anyone read me?
And welcome back to the World Series of Warzone 2024 Global Finals, the final game of the day, at least when it comes to the bonus points leading into match point tomorrow is here, game number 6. If you haven't won a game today, this is your final chance to do so outside of Solo YOLO, which is coming up right after this. So you make sure to stay tuned to see who's going to earn that $50,000. I'm Taylor Reflections Double, joined by Dream, Enigma, and Dandro. Game number 6, big moment to break into top 5. Let's get some quick predictions, at least from you, Enigma. Who do you think, game number 6, is going to take it?
You spoke a little bit about how Omi EU had gone for a little bit of a slump. I want to see them pick it back up.
Okay.
I want to see them go big again. They've been seeing a lot of these end zones, but I want to see them deliver on one. We spoke a little bit about the belief that a victory can give you. Yes, they've had one today, but it's about finding another here at the end of the day.
All right, well, I would love to give it to you two as well, but guess what? Game number 6 is ready to go. I know you've had enough of us yapping, so let's send it over to our casters. Game number 6, Spider Tiff Goes, take it away.
Don't worry, I'll get your predictions right after this one, okay? Because you'll definitely be right after we play this one. Now, according to math, all right, I was doing some math on the side.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you were.
44 points was the biggest game of the day, aside from that last map, which was from the Falcons. Guess how many points Team Aiden just dropped?
If you're telling me 44 was the biggest, I'm going for north of 50.
It was a trick question. It was exactly 44 again. A 22-kill victory, 44 points from Team Aiden. A massive jump up the leaderboard. Wasn't enough to take first? Certainly not, because the Falcons just dropped a 36-point game for a second-place win. So another massive game from the Falcons means they're up right now on their competition by, well, frankly, a whole dang lot. I think it's about 40 over second and third. So maybe we know who's going to get 40 points for tomorrow, but the big question, and still up for grabs, who's getting 30, 20, and counting, folks? A lot is on the line. The last game of trios today starts right now.
Outra queda, vamos outra queda. Porque mudando o ganho, um time com o tabaco e com o outro lá, mano, queda agora eles conseguem se recuperar mais.
And the Falcons, right, in game number 6. Look, I mean, they breached that triple-digit mark not that long ago and are still trying to points gap the lobby here. And if we're just being able to see where they've gotten to, it's almost 150. And if you think of it, it's going to be that magical number 4 tomorrow to show you that if they can get 40 advanced starting points, what is that going to do? And how many games do we actually get on Call of Duty Warzone match point?
It's such a great point, folks. 150 points tomorrow is our threshold. The teams are getting 40, 30, and counting. The Falcons have dropped 146 in 5. What can they do in 6? Only time will tell. It looks like maybe there's a team trying to contest them as per the usual. Things have not been going well for that squad. At least not yet. That's Zach, Hollow, and Azen. They had a little glimpse of themselves in the limelight for a moment, getting second place in a map. But we'll see what they can do as we head back to Bazaar to see, well, what's the tally after 6? Who's going to win it this time? Is it a true 50-50? Or maybe this Robstar team will come in on top again over Panda and maybe have a good map to put them up into the tally. I think it's worth mentioning while we have it just a second here, Tiff, of those points, we've got to remind ourselves that if you get 11th, you're getting 15 points for tomorrow. If you get 10th, you're getting 20. This is actually a pretty sizable leap. Reminder, as this fight's going on, there was like 10 teams within 4 points. 5 points could be huge.
Exactly, one good game can change the trajectory of your World Series of Warzone for tomorrow. And honestly, when you've contested each and every map, you're kind of not in a good position overall on the leaderboard. Usually you end up chalking both, but this squad, this Reply Totem, they still have the ability to hit a regain after this. Even with the influx of mortars kind of sending their way, we're still kind of looting around it and trying to piece apart the different squads as we go.
Yeah, and I will say, I'll give this Reply Totem team some credit. They have jumped up the leaderboard. Like we said, it's a very, very tight margin. They have made it to top 10. So they were kind of chalking each other's games, but finally this team started to get some steam, which means their opposition...
Blade BR, nosso Blade aqui, Blade X, não tá jogando Mundial não. Só pra quem não tá ligado.
Blade getting ripped apart, falls in the stairway we go, and well, Panda through the door to clean it on up. Vortex trading out. This is just one of the most chaotic things I have ever seen on the LAN stage. But for Las Vegas Inferno, they're into some trouble themselves.
Oh, the home team getting cut down. It looks like Future has games last one alive, and just kidding, wins the fight. Omit in a mediocre performance thus far today. Unfortunately, cut down early. It's going to make it very difficult for them to jump this leaderboard dramatically in the final map when they're on their back foot already.
You have to be perfect tomorrow if that's going to be the case, but Baba Huff in the gulag looking for Bagel, and we're already investing our lethals, our smokes, but when Bagel full sends down that center lane, now we've got to locate them. Still not kind of sure where they went. We locate, we peek, we slide. Babo, come on, let's get it.
Able to find...
Meu Deus. Pistola, mano.
Too close. Should have been a lot cleaner. Unfortunately for both of them, they were in the gulag and they still got to come back to the team, but a nice win from Bagel. We'll see what he's able to do when he gets back onto the map. A quick buyback, by the way, from Future there. So Baba Huff will get right back. Destroy's team, we've seen them a couple times. Where are they on the leaderboard? I think they're a little ways down.
19.
This could be, they're at the middle of the pack as expected. This could be a big game for them, but they've got to get pretty aggressive here. No matter for points though, yeah. Top 20, 15 points. 21st, 10 points. Every point counts.
It really does, and especially for Team Echo, we've seen them have a really powerful day here, currently sitting in 5th on the leaderboard. 30 starting points for tomorrow if we can maintain this, and quite frankly, the only difference maker would be is if we could get that first place, but that's 60 points or so away. They do like to start around this area, of course, as well as Team...
Eita, o Aiden cresceu, hein? Tá em terceiro lugar, mano. O time do Aiden tá querendo buscar, mano. O Huskers caiu.
Top 5 is separated. 5th is 25 points over 6th. Those margins are massive to overcome. We likely already know our top 5 going into tomorrow. We likely know the points they get. The big question mark is the rest of these teams that are just ahead from each other. And points could cycle like 10, 15 some odd points could cycle between these teams. As we head to the gulag and Zank says, I don't need a gun. What the? Okay, yeah, sure. 1, 2, bucket by shoe. That's 2 gulags in a row and double wins for that team.
Hey, look, they needed to do exactly that, but Warsa's team, they're in 33rd position on that leaderboard. Not going to be that start they wanted for themselves, and quite frankly, we know how good some of these teams that are maybe not having a solid day. So Super Evan, this squad over here, nor that outpost area, just a bit north of the bunker per se. We're kind of split out, still working on our journey throughout here, but I want to note something that we didn't actually get to talk about with this circle pulling towards the northwestern side. Omit EU actually forewent landing at Manor and went to Kotobo. That adaptability is critical, and well, Otterize, invest that streak. Let's get on over. Tabulator, Strixie, and Johnny Bro, they want to fight.
And talk about a team that has been very quiet today. Team Super Evan had some troubles today, looking to find a couple eliminations here early and then move up through Outpost and beyond. Again, like Tiff said, if you haven't looked at the map yet, it is definitely a map, a zone rather, that we haven't seen before, as a couple eliminations coming through. The Bunker Buster is actually able to clean up Johnny Bro, which means Tap, Strix are out of here. See you later. Maybe Otter could pick one up. Look, Otter told me yesterday he was going to snipe. Apparently he's changed things up after the first couple maps didn't go their way.
Sometimes you just gotta be adaptable throughout here, and Team Aiden, after that match win on the last game, they're still reaping eliminations. Team Community right now running into some trouble, but as we get this update on the circle, Omit EU, the red one on your screen, just on the outskirts of the eastern side of Kotovo, and that 5 is going to be the Falcons. They haven't left pop-off power, there's no reason to, and you have to keep an eye on Team Aiden. That's that 4 kind of coming in from that bridge. They've made the rotation from the Superstore side of things and crossed out into the south of pop-off.
Yeah, and you also see Team Community in the pink salmon, whatever it is, number 20, all the way up down at the bottom of the map, have moved up through a zip and into that Old Town, Low Town area. Likely going to see them popping up the kill feed quite a bit. There's a lot of teams holding them. See Almond falling in that kill feed. So if we take a look at another team we haven't seen in a little while, looks like Linen's being left behind as Juki's and FIFA Kill off to the races, trying to find some eliminations, and Tap in trouble. No, gets one, does finally get cleaned up, but they lose a life. Gotta be a frustrating start right there. You got to get a clean kill there. Just losing that life and sending FIFA to the gulag could be the difference maker in this game. This team is playing for a lot right now, by the way. They are currently in 12th place, looking to try to breach into that top 10 for 20 points for tomorrow.
A bit of a fall from grace. I said it. They were in 3rd place after match number 1, but I'm gonna commend them, right? They have been able to stay.
Uma coisa que eu presto atenção é que os gringos sempre pegam couve em alguma coisa, mano. Nunca entra de cara.
Well, they were just fighting, and then you see Lenin go straight to the gulag because one more member of that squad took them out. But back to Industrial we go, and the fight of the time, you said it. How many times are this 2 trios gonna run straight into each other? Soka at the top, kind of perched in a little Falcon's nest of his own.
This is such a funny fight to me because Biffle is scared of no man, no person, nobody on the map. Except for maybe this team. I was talking to Repulse, you heard him on the analyst desk, he said, I don't know what it is about this team. They always seem to get me. We'll see if they get him this time around. Hisoka has taken quite literally ultimate high in the area and has great viewpoint and will have great comms to help out his teammates. Maybe we'll have an angle as well. We'll see. This fight could take a little while, but it looks like Gui and Co are going to try to push the equation. Maybe sending one out around actually with a zip. Try to play a spot.
Shifty already opened it up. He's got Clabs in, and that's a full wipe there for Juki's squad. That's quite unfortunate. And now FLS takes that ultimate high ground, and you can see he's going to be looking to call
Meu Deus.
Biffle and Shifty, a dynamic duo in their own right, kind of trying to go on out, while Soka is like, don't worry guys, I'll find FLS. We know exactly where he is. Now how do we rip him off this high ground? And when Soka sets something in his sights, you know he's going to get it.
Bro, leave him. I mean, just leave him up there. You got Gui in your sights, pick up the 2v1, down goes Gui. Maybe, I think it actually might have been a thermite through the window that it picks up Gui. That's exactly what it is. Goes down. FLS also gets cleaned up. Soka found an angle and executed on it. Looks like the thorn in their side is a thorn no longer. Snap it off, send it home, and then go on your merry way. There's nobody else on their side of Popov. A couple people trying to rotate in, and a couple folks to the south. We have to move down all the way to the south-hand side of this map. You can't go any further south, mostly southeast, than this squad. They're on an island right now because they just won a couple team fights. Team Destroy in a decent spot right now if they can find a clean path to New. But looking at New, it's across the water. It is Popov, it is Levin, and you have a long way to go.
And this is why I'm so thankful that Omit EU recognized it based off the plane, right? When you see that plane line, you can call it. Now they're sitting for free towards that end game, and the only real threat to them is going to be Falcons when they decide to rotate based on those pools. But Falcons, in Industrial, they don't want to commit to that just yet because think of all the teams still trying to rotate on in. You turn towards Cargo on that southern side. They've got a long walk to go, and this one's been trying to make their way as they cross that water towards the eastern side of Popov. A couple of teams still in the nearby area for them.
Yeah, again, I want to draw your eyes up to the team Tiff's been talking about, Omit EU in the red one at the top north side of the map. They love this building. They've done this 100 times, it seems like. They changed up their drop spot on these circles. But Team Aiden doing the opposite side of that, hunting edge of zone yet again and getting paid for it. Several kills going their way right now, but Team Panda in their sights. Again, the jockeying between 2nd and 5th almost doesn't matter. It's about protecting your position in the top 5 unless somehow you can close a 40-point gap on the Falcons.
I mean, look, if you've already breached triple digits like Team Aiden has, this is the start that you needed going into tomorrow to say, okay, look, this is what we're able to do. We focused on the wins. We were being able to do that. Get your rotations in, find the eliminations, because it's going to be kind of that frenzy to get to 150 tomorrow, and a challenger has arrived. It's going to be Cloud9 have made their way into the kind of midst of Omit EU.
Yeah, this is a big moment for Cloud9. I mean, if they could get a nice high ground position, a power position, win condition potentially in their sights, they might actually have a good game and breach some extra points for tomorrow. Right now, COD doing COD things, picking up several eliminations along the way, making this look easy. That's one going down for this squad. A full team of 3, though, on the other side of them. They know that, and they're going to continue to run and move to new. This is a massive rotation, by the way, for COD. It's worth mentioning they're way down in City, and now they're on the north side, joining the likes of Omit EU.
And they're just kind of spectating here, right? They're biding their time, trigger discipline. We're not going to extend out until we absolutely need to. The likelihood of, well, Scummin and them fighting Cloud9 would be more, but then here comes Destroy. Well-needed eliminations for them to kind of boost that score, maybe into the top 15 and even top 10 if they have an absolute banger. But Scummin on 4 is already looking for angles, but it's Dongy who finds the opening.
Today, at least right now, this is the wrong team to fight. COD is moving in final form, and sure, Destroy gets back on his feet, but immediately cut back down as Donkey, one of our kill leaders today, continuing to find eliminations. Nearly 2,000 damage as well, so likely sharing some kills. We are going to do a quick listen in with this COD team and see why this team is succeeding today.
We have a buy. I got a port buy.
Go gassies, go gassies.
I'm gonna go to a port buy too. I'm looting. I got some. I got 8 plates. Yeah, I'm good. Durable here too if you need it. Yeah, I need. These guys are fighting hello over here. Try to shoot out all the balloons so we don't get ballooned on. Go, balloon. Landing. Where's he at? No light thing. From cracked. He's super low. Another one there too. Another one's on the right side here. Trying to take space, make sure we don't get creeped up on, but like don't try to get don't be so low though. Wait, close, on the wall, close, yeah. Right. Close, light ping, crack, one flash, one shot. 3, it's 3. Yeah. I bunkered, I can't bunker. They're in that check. They're in here. One shot down, I'm pushing it. I'll plug up. Wait for us. I'm thermite close. Yeah, one's close to me. He's one shot in the right corner. Cracked. Nice, down. Another one on me, outer. Heard you. Playing for it. Ping. In front of me, the shack on me.
I'm putting on the backside. The one's in the
shack. The house. He might be in the 2-story. Yeah, I'm plating.
He's in the 2-story. I just heard him.
Both close. All right, I'm going.
On me.
Coming. Running left.
Esse time do Scum é chato, hein, mano?
What do you mean? It's only one. It's bottom here.
Esse time do Scum é chato, mano.
Here. You're good. Tapping. Another buy here.
Bunker, close.
Heard it. Yeah, on me.
Soca detonou o Scum, mano. Esse time do Shift também tá trocando logo com o time do Scum, mano. Bifo vai cair, hein? Bifo caiu. Shift tá em cima do Dong. Tunou o Dong.
But unfortunately, COD a perfect team fight.
Okay, Shifty. We see it.
Shift tá amassando, mano.
Throw some smokes, waste the ammo. You've got resources, right? We know you walk out of pop-off with a ton of money there, but honestly, they were if that was the timing that COD needed, they still had some players in the gulag. The worst that's going to come for them is that reset with 19 squads still up and a large majority of our teams still setting their sights towards the north here. Is this going to be this Vegas Inferno roster from Levin on that ultimate high ground, looking down from above, deciding where do we want to go? And it's been Echo through the south, making their play through Outpost.
Yeah, such a cool moment. Also, that COD team, by the way, they wiped one of the mainstay competition that was right behind them. 8th place could have maybe breached that top 5, so a big take. And speaking of a big take, Aiden squad crushing their opponents here in Pop-Off, rotating eastern side to the west.
Esse é outro time chato, mano. É o time do Aiden, mano. É um time bem cabuloso.
In the best position right now because they know they don't need kills. They just got to maintain their position in the top 5, and multipliers certainly can do that if they can pick up kills in the end game.
And here's why this is so important for Team Aiden. We've been talking about their consistency throughout the past couple of weeks and their growth, similar to Team Echo here, but those advanced starting points of 30. We always say, you know, if maybe they could just get a little bit closer to 150 before the Falcons do, and this gives them the ground zones to kind of level it all out tomorrow.
Yeah, this is a big moment, by the way, for FaZe on the right-hand side. They don't know that Prodigy is here. This is brutal. FaZe is in 10th place right now, but Swag is shooting straight. Adrian falls, and it does look like FaZe is cleaned up by Prodigy and Oki. What a take, with Biffle staring down at them, waiting to take those instead. That's going to be tough. FaZe might have done enough to maintain top 10, but they very likely could drop down out of top 10 and lose points for it. These are the margins we're talking about. They're so razor thin if you're outside the top 5.
Well, now Oki's going to have to look for a regain, get the squad back on out, and well, Shifty's still looking for some more action because what he had was not enough. They want to prove on that 44-point game. They want to set records here. The cementing of Dynasty begins.
Meu Deus, os caras estão abusando das smoke, mano. As smoke estão muito apelando nesse mundial, mano.
Breach that points disparity between.
Só nessa partida que o Shift tá com 5 kills.
Take a pretty monster effort. I mean, it's a 25-point margin from 5th to 6th place team, by the way.
It was FaZe.
Yeah, they are not there, not right now. So we'll see what they're able to do. I think those points are being tallied right now too, so there's a chance maybe they'll drop outside top 10. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks. We're gonna let the admin do the math as Grom hits 1 and gets the cleanup. That's Panda falling. That's a full wipe on Panda. We're top 15, and as expected, omit EU. Not a ton of kills, but in the best position, at least for now, as we head back to the Falcons, who are continuing to make statement after statement to say, well, I don't have to repeat it. Shifty said it for me. We know what he's going to say.
I mean, look, he's got a lot to say, and at least he says it with his chest, and at least he backs it on up here on the main stage, on land here in Las Vegas. But omit NA, they do have one player last standing that was just trying to kind of salvage some things. They're in 18th place, and for the Vegas Inferno, they need a good multiplier to let some of these eliminations do work. And well, they've got 2 squads just kind of towards the outside of them, Destroy being one of them, and another squad wipe for the Falcons.
Vegas Inferno on your screen. Looking to take down our wildcard team. Nick Cool Squad had an early start to this tourney and comes swinging in all 3 alive. Lose one maybe in the process, we'll see, but a cleanup nonetheless. Vegas Inferno fallen 14th. Decent map potentially, but the question is how many kills? Again, every team tallying their kills, every team doing the math. How many points do we have for tomorrow? What are the changes? And right now, it looks like Team Super Evan says, I'm a bush Wookie, my man. I'm just last into top 10. I need that multiplier. We've got some kills to make it count.
Well, this squad is currently seated in 21st place on the leaderboard, 50.6, and that's why this is so vital, right? You want to get into those advanced starting points that are even more, but Waldo, what a game here. Colony 2K and Nick Cool probably fully eliminated here, but let's get that higher multiplier like you were talking about. We've entered the 1.6x multi. The best you can do now is maybe a top 5 and even then a win.
Yeah, this team is actually in a prime position to steal away a lot of points. Waldo's on 8. I think Colony is on at least 5. This is like a 15-kill game with multipliers. They've made top 10. A great game for a wildcard team to snack some points away, snack on them some tortilla chips. Why not? Let's pick up Autorize in transition. This is one of the teams that's right behind you and maybe right in front of you, depending on how many kills they have. Every single point matters. Find him, Waldo. We found you, but can you find Autorize?
Oh, well, keep your eye. I think Huskers is last standing for his roster. Off screen is Brawlic falls as well. Goodbye, Autorize. I think Super Evan still in that bush, kind of dead center of zone, looking for some more.
Meu Deus. Gostei da jogada agora do cara lá, mano.
It's Deus Amir, Z-Dark, and Castillo still trying to wipe that area, but they're on the low ground towards the Falcons here, and Shifty is keeping them in their sights, and we are just fired. From behind, though, could maybe steal one away and grab an elimination, but I think the Falcons are just going to look to clean it up for now.
Team 8 is still in it as well. Fastball special is going to help them out. DJ's able to take down 1 and a second with that thermite. Trying to find the body. Where is it? Nowhere to be found. They're down below. And so they're not going to get the cleanup, not yet, but they are in the zone, so you don't have to push out, not right now. Omit EU up here as well. The top 3 teams stay on top. Top 3 teams in the final.
Trocação insana, mano.
Defended their title. They're going to be walking away with a lot of points, but who's going to win this fight? Will we get some revenge for the side of Omit EU? It's not looking likely.
Gromalock down, and we're just trying to get angles here on the Falcons. The preemptive rotate here for that circle. It's going to cost you, but I would love to see, do we get this res on Gromalock? I think we actually do. Back up on on their feet. Now we get the reset because the Falcons are still focused on picking up eliminations. They've set their sights actually on Team Aiden.
Omit EU, always good about their rotations, always good about making plays, but just not good enough. Not when you got Shifty sliding in from behind, picking up another elimination. A quick cleanup here, and Omit EU is going to be out of it. The Falcons are poised to take another one, potentially. A couple body shots, but he knows the job's not done, so we got to keep moving on our merry way. Team Aiden all the way down in the gutters, going to have to make a massive rotation. They're pulling one out of the Falcons playbook as we see Revenge Tour back into the mix, into the top 3. Maybe can we end it like...
E jogada do Bifo, mano.
Maybe not this. Down to the final 2 teams.
Que jogada do Bifo, mano.
This time, will the Falcons win it all here, Tiff? I can only expect they will, but job not done as this zone is set up. Either team could take it. Biffle on the flank. We'll see.
Look, we've seen this before, right? Just think of last match, but Shifty opens it up. There goes DJ Moss. Aiden.
Meu Deus.
Like the Falcons are about to convert this one.
An absolute Herculean effort would be for Z-Smith to win this. A 1v2. Was able to clean up one. Z-Smith is a straight shooter.
Here comes Biffle.
Biffle's on 13 kills. It look easy. Tiff, we talk about it. We flipped the coin. They've won 50% of
Campeão.
day 1. Trios is done for the day, and there is no question in our minds that at least today they are the best team here. Way out on top by a massive margin.
The silent assassin himself, Biffle, steps forward, finds Z-Smith, but it's still consistent. And I'm honestly really digging that the majority of the floor here in the arena are Falcons fans, right? The family front and center celebrating. The 50% win rate is right.
Acho que saiu campeão já, mano, aí agora. A equipe do Hisoka, do Shift e do... Muito forte, mano. Shift, Hisoka e Bifo.
They like Leo. I hate glazing them so much. I get sick of talking about the Falcons.
Muito forte.
No, you've got to. And again, they win 50% of their games, and they're doing it on land.
Yeah.
They are inevitable right now, and that map was a giant one. I think you called it out perfectly before. They had the best game. It was tied by Team Aiden. That's not good enough. They were up by such a margin. It didn't matter what they did in that map, and they likely are winning anyways, right? They're still getting their 40 points, but they came to make a statement. And we're taking off our shoes while we're gaming Ahsoka? Why not, man?
I mean, it makes sense. We heard the interview from Aiden earlier. He's like, I'm sitting next to the Falcons, and it's kind of smelly over there. So please,
sure.
put your shoes back on. So
there it is. No, an unbelievable effort again from the Falcons. They made the perfect rotation. They were set up flawlessly. Omit EU, though, was in top 10. Aiden's team's in top 10. Again, everybody that was wagering who they thought would be top 5 were mostly correct. The big question in my mind was anybody able to breach into top 5 aside from our top teams? Was anybody able to snag some points and get into top 10 as well? I mean, where is FaZe falling, right? A great team, had some hot and cold moments today, much like their performances leading up to this. A lot of question marks and a lot of math, but we had a great time in that map seeing the Falcons win it all yet again. And will it be the best map of the day? I don't know. Again, more math. Biffle was on 14 by the end of that one.
kind of in a league of their own, just constantly trying to outclass themselves. Like, oh yeah, we did 44 points, we've matched that. Let's go ahead and keep on seeing what we can do. But that just goes to show you their capabilities. I mean, I've seen them not even take a 2x multiplier and put up north of 45 points with a 1.8 multi.
Yeah, and it's what's impressive too with that zone pull was that the Falcons were able to find that many kills in their territory.
Ah, vou ver entrevista, mano.
They pushed out when they needed to.
$1 million.
Rotation to win the gunfight at the end. Again, tip my hat to Team Aiden. They're in final form, folks, and I think they're going to be second place at the end of this one after another great map from them. A lot of folks are saying this was the second best team. Apparently, recency bias is correct because they've been dominating today. We're going to head down to the stage and see, well, I guess we're going to hear from the last member of the Falcons here at the Soka on the stage.
Good luck hearing anything down here. It's rowdy on the floor. Ahsoka, I got the full Falcons bingo card. I got all of you guys. Your 3 big wins today, man. Congrats on that. Top spot secured.
Yes, sir. Feels good. Feels great. We started off slow. I was sure all the competitors thought they had a chance. We started winning 3 games in a row. I know they're going to go to sleep like, damn, we lost tomorrow. So let's get it.
Feeling good, feeling confident, man. Rightfully so, rightfully deserved. I mean, is there anything that's come out of today that was maybe a surprise for you guys, something you planned for that didn't work out? Was there anything in the game plan that wasn't there?
Nah, nothing in the game plan. I know, like, on land, kids will be nervous. Aiden was talking that smack to Biffle, but we just ran him, so he needs to watch his mouth. Shout out, baby, come on.
What are we bringing into tomorrow? Anything different from today, or is it business as usual?
Business as usual. Job's not finished. We had a great day.
Quero ver.
Go to sleep early. Maybe.
Sempre acreditei nesse cara, que esse cara ia longe.
So we'll see.
Anything you want to say to the crowd here? Everyone watching back home.
Everybody watching back home, the crowd, I love you guys, my family. I appreciate you guys. Tease up all that, man. Come on, Falcons, baby.
Back to the desk.
All right, hey, appreciate you. Yeah, he's collecting the Infinity Stones out there, right? He got Shifty earlier, and then he got got Biffle first, Shifty, and now he's got Hisoka. Well, they earned it. They absolutely earned it. 50% win rate. What does that mean? 3 out of 6 games. 2 of those games, second place. One of them, what happened, right? Top 20. I don't know. Hey, not even double digits on points. Regardless, though, beating everybody by, unofficially, probably like 80 or so points. So it's a matter of now who got second through 5th to secure 30 points going into tomorrow because, well, Falcons, they were able to secure at least 40. Let's take a look at our highlights from game number 6. It was exciting without doubt. Dandro, starting with you, half the lobby gone by zone 4.
Yeah, this lobby got deleted, which is kind of, par for the course for what we see for a lot of Warzone tournaments. When it comes to this last map, right, people are tending to play.
Shift jogou muito, mano.
Zone 4, almost half of the lobby is gone. So, but then what we see is that opens up the map so much, and then it kind of comes down, right? So it starts off really fast, and then it just goes to a slow as everybody is now still trying to play for those precious placement points, like we mentioned, because everybody trying to be able to come out on top to get those advantage points coming in for tomorrow.
And Enigma, for you, Omidiu, they get zoned. They have a wonderful finish, 4th place, which they desperately needed again to hold on to that delicate lead that they had for top 5. Talk to me about their run from start to finish.
O Skun jogou muito bem, velho.
They get the pull that they want. This is their alternate landing spot, the preferred alternate landing spot, which is the Kotovo blocks. Typically what this zone does is it pulls quite north, sharply north, even northwest. So they've hedged their bets there to sit in the Kotovo blocks and catch teams rotating on up from the 11 resort. Doesn't end up coming on through necessarily that way, and obviously they get cut down by the Falcons in the end, but pretty much everyone in this lobby down well has today. But what I will say is lessons learned. A couple of days ago, myself and Dandro cast over an event, and we saw them in this exact same zone, and they were playing it from the low ground, which made things very difficult. This time they assessed what they'd done wrong before, played from those high grounds and found themselves a couple more kills en route, and as you said, picked up what had been a bit of a slow run through the back half. Have held on to that delicate top 5.
And I loved that Enigma had stated that, right? The zone, right? A lot of these teams that I was noticing, which teams are rotating towards the north? Omit EU was one of those spots that we're setting up. Also, I noticed Team Echo, right? We got Prodigy, Oki, and Echo, who in the start had a couple of, the first 3 drops, I would say, right? 16, 16, 26, but they still had eliminations, and then that map number 4 and 5 getting into that top 5 spot, that might secure them in the win in that top 5.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me, the win in that top 5.
In the top 5,
and
right.
for the advantage points, right? These teams are thinking about the day 2 advantage points, and hopefully that'll be an advantage. Because you need to get these guys.
Oh, the celebration is just, come on, it's great. Oh, look, and there was 8 in there too. Like, that was a great finish from them. We talked about their confidence building up right from the last game to this game, and shout out to him. A little bit more on that, but Falcons, hey, congratulations. Biffle, Hisoka, Shifty, right now, again, it is their tournament to lose. 2nd place in game 1, top 20 in game number 2, 1st place in 3 and 4, 5th place, 2nd place, and then they return back to the 1st place podium on that 6th and final game. And all of them got to get interviewed, and they all let us know what they were thinking about the competition. They clearly don't have respect for them because they've got to respect them because Falcons is on top. But I want to go back to Aiden because for me, very happy with their performance today. Again, I was like, where are they at? We didn't see a lot of them from like the first, 3 or so, 4 games, but then all of a sudden they started showing face. We finally got the observers on them, and they just were tearing it up the last 2 games. Absolutely phenomenal. 1st and 2nd place, Dandro. I'm so happy with their placing.
Yeah, I mean, this team has come online. I think it's safe to say that. They, while you said we haven't been able to check in with them as much through those first couple of games, these last 2 games, I love that we were able to really showcase what they've been doing to be, I think unofficially our 2nd place team, to come in with 30 points tomorrow. So it seems like everything is clicking for this squad. If you watched any of the tournaments and scrims leading up to the event, it was really felt like they were on the upward trajectory We talked about, a lot that over this World Series of Warzone season, you wanted to peak here today, right? You wanted your competition to kind of hit its maximum here today. And it seems like for this team, they're finally starting to do that. And that is what you want to be having to happen.
Yeah, I just absolutely want to tip my hat to Aiden, by the way. I love all three of the gents on this team. I spoke a lot about what I think about Z-Smith.
Sure.
But Aiden in particular, it feels like, quite often we see large content creators in the spaces. They kind of, you can lose your passion a little bit.
That's
Aiden
true. Very
always
true.
turns up big at these events, and he's leading the line at the minute with 32 kills for his squad, really putting on out there. And there just seems to be something about him where he locks in when it comes to these big events and makes sure that he's helping drive his team over the line.
Yeah, and I love that you say that. The adversity that he has to go through, because I myself have seen him they got disconnected in some way, shape, or form. So that I think it was the game number 3 that Z-Smith did, in fact, have 0 because of that disconnect. So going through that adversity and still...
Boa noite, mano. Tudo bem?
Girl. Flowers, man, because I would have been...
Ansioso aqui, mano. E aí, curtiu, mano?
Well, Omit EU
Eu curti demais, mano. Eu gostei, mano, da vitória do Biffle.
to that 5th place. They finish off, I believe, in around...
Depois que eles ganharam aquelas duas lá, mano, eu já sabia já que eles iam competir.
That should be your top 5.
Eles começaram atrás, né, mano?
Here on the
Mas os caras jogam muito, mano.
down, and now we have a good understanding of what the...
A decepção foi por conta dos BR, né, mano? Que não conseguiram representar legal a gente, né, mano?
on the global stage. Even
Os caras jogam muito, mano.
we still have solo YOLO. Game number 7.
O Mundial foi top, mano. Foi da hora o Mundial, mano.
We do, though, we're going to take a quick break, but I want to leave you off with a little interview.
Caiu umas 3 vezes a live, mano. A live da transmissão lá do Mundial, mano.
Ladies and gentlemen, to the World Series of Warzone here in Las Vegas. I'm here with Team FIFA Kill, and that is going to be, of course, FIFA Kill.
FIFA Kill jogou bem também, mano. Jogou melhor, o time do FIFA Kill jogou melhor do que os BR tudinho, mano.
Why it's been a tough year?
I mean, we had a good start in...
Tem que repensar esse negócio aí do Brasil, aí, jogando Call of Duty, mano.
An update came out, our buy station left, and we did...
É o que eu comento lá atrás, mano. Não tem servidor suficiente pra gente jogar aqui no Brasil, não, mano. Valeu, Invirtua.
Wait, what?
Muito obrigado, mano. Tamo junto, mano. Você acompanhou a transmissão completa aqui, foi, mano? O FIFA Kill.
Oh, we got an interview. Okay, we'll come back for that on Sunday.
What are the real expectations for your team this week?
We're one of those teams that it can all come together on the day. So I think we have...
Eu esperava mais, mano, dos BR, mano. Na moral, velho. Fiquei um pouco decepcionado, né, mano? Mas...
We could definitely get a top 3 for sure. I mean, it's LAN. LAN and online is so different. We haven't really been able to play on equal ping. On the EU ones, we played a lot better. And we've all got experience on LAN, so I think that's going to play in our favor.
You two in particular, what does this guy bring to your team?
I think the most important thing he brings to the team is kills. He's usually our top fragger.
He's very good at breaking down a team, deciding strategically how we're going to do that, where we're going to get the opening knock, coordinating.
Que tudo sirva de aprendizado, mas eu acho que não vai mudar muita coisa não aqui na comunidade de BR de COD não, mano. Enquanto a empresa não entrar, mano, aqui no Brasil, aqui com uns 3 servidores bacana, 4 servidores bacana, colocar um servidor no norte, um servidor no sudeste, um servidor digno, bacana, mano. Um na região sudeste, um na região centro-oeste do Brasil, mano. Fazer um squad de servidores, mano. Não vai melhorar, não. A gente brasileiro não vai ter condição de competir em mundial com essa galera, não, mano. Que é até injusto, né? Porque os caras jogam no servidor bom direto. Eles sabem, eles têm o time correto do tempo da bala, mano. A gente não tem. A gente joga com um lag atrasado muito grande. Mesmo que o exitlag, no ping, venha fazer frente aqui, não dá não, mano. É muito grande a diferença.
Jukies is an absolute character. It was great watching that entire team play today. Of course, FIFA Kill, Lennon, and Jukies. They definitely a lot better than they did during the qualifier. Still some more work needing to be done tomorrow, but they know what they need to do to find success.
Quero ver entregando a taça os caras, mano.
To watch the teams fight. I mean, really to the death to try and get as many points as possible so they can earn their bonus points heading into tomorrow's competition. And speaking of which, we had 6 wonderful games, and even the start of the day from drop number 1, well, it was absolutely exciting, and we saw a team end up winning that we didn't talk about in the top of the show, and they ended up proving themselves to be absolutely wonderful. I can't wait to see how Solo is going to work out, but just to recap once again, game number 1, right? B-Mark, J-Tech, Slide, Revenge Tour, making it happen, Dandro.
Yeah, this is a team that we've kind of been talking every single time that really is just pure passion, right? This is what the World Series of Warzone is all about, is allowing an opportunity for teams like this to be able to come in.
Sempre camperando, mano.
To compete against the best of the best. I know J-Tech specifically has been on his grind, trying to prove himself as a top-tier competitor and taking game 1 as a way to do that. We got to hear from B-Mark in the interview with Miles, and it was just so cool to hear how much this win meant to them as a team. I think it was really, really cool to see that. But this game also brought a number of other highlights as well. I got to shout it out because it was insane. The Heeds 1v2 that we saw from Omit EU was absolutely wild. This was a great way to start our day.
It was, and it was the first chance we had a chance to see Community on Rational Scum and Doggy like truly showcase that they can get eliminations with the placings. That started their run throughout the day to finish up into top 5, and Omit EU obviously taking that victory was just absolutely tremendous, and they've been a talking point ever since that game 2 win, that game 2 moment. Now game number 3 brought us a lot of great moments as well. It was incredibly fast paced, and Gio, this is where Falcons started to come into their own. We had that interview with Biffle afterwards. All the other teams just absolutely sucked, but this was the first win for Falcons and their first at least journey into first place.
Yeah, I mean, game 2 was a pretty crazy game, although these clips are from game 3.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, game 3 was a really crazy game, and it was a little bit slower paced than the game that came before it. But even though it had kind of a similar circle towards the end, but just such an explosive ending, I think, was so exciting, and just again seeing that pattern come out from Falcons, and it really set a precedent, I think, for the rest of the day. You know, we got a lot of smack talk from them, and on the one hand, you're like, oh, that, you know, that's a rocky road because you never know, you might not be able to uphold it, and they've been able to do that for the rest of the day.
Exactly, and I mean, of course, before all that happened, and Falcons did have an impressive win, but we can't forget Omit EU. They did take the game number 2, and of course, the duality between, of course, I love Bramalok and Heeds, but it was Enkyo, right? Enkyo being that 18-year-old, the star player last year, not able to make it, but this year now comes, and he has been lights out on LAN. Enkyo, I'm just truly impressed with how he's been able to hold his resilience on land, because you guys know, as a new and upcoming player, that's hard to do.
Well, game number 4 did not disappoint for Falcons fans. They come back and they end up winning themselves. We had a chance to actually hear from Shifty. He went absolutely berserk on stage and let everybody know that they are terrible with some additional words.
Yeah, I hope he's making the fat check streaming, because that boy's out there. But I think for good reason, though, right? They're feeling themselves. They are feeling confident, and we're able to kind of, you know, I think start really remembering who they are in this lobby. But I think it was game number 5 that really also really took me just to really lock in on the games, because this is where Aiden, DJ Moss, and Z-Smith played beautifully. You saw this ending moment. I got to give some props to Soka. You tried to make that classic LTV play like we've seen you do time and time again, but when he actually hopped in that LTV, you actually saw 8 of them beaming his toes from underneath the vehicle. So kind of delayed him not being able to do it, but a huge game either way that kind of led into game number 6, which was honestly, I think, definition banger.
Absolute banger indeed. Hey, Gio, game number 6, Falcons. The question was, how much of a lead would they have going in to that final game and afterwards, right? Which we still don't know the official answer. But game 6, get to hear from Hisoka because, well, Falcons won again.
Yeah, no, it was an absolutely insane ending. I mean, I was sat in the green room and I was like lying on the floor, and I just, you know, I was thinking this might be a relaxing, no, it wasn't relaxing at all. It was just the screaming everywhere. I could hear it all coming from in here, and just so many fans like so thrilled to see that outcome, and just such a perfect conclusion to the day of the trios as well, I think, because they were really setting a story in stone today that they managed to follow through with ever more impressive wins, I think.
All right, well, it's time to take a look at our standings, and I'm sure they're going to be celebrating just as much when it gets pulled up. And the reason why is because first place, no surprise, Team Team Falcons take it. Oh my God. 206.8 to 122.6. And I tell you what, they said they wanted to win EWC by 100 points. Well, they nearly did the same thing here in the global finals. Absolutely nutty. But let's go down the list, right? Because it's more than just the Falcons. Dream, Team Aiden, absolutely performed so well today. COD Munity, Omit EU, and Team Echo to round out 5 through 2nd.
Yeah, and remember, the teams 2nd through 5th do get awarded 30 points of the advantage. But for Team Aiden, amazing. I mean, for these kind of results, you guys, this is kind of, was this kind of in the prediction?
Cadê o Brasil, meu Deus?
I say 3 at least of the team.
Cadê o Brasil?
Going back to that whole conversation at the beginning of the day about the NA versus EMEA versus whatever has been answered.
Yep, no, you're right, Gio. It has. We have the top 3 teams all from NA, baby. I'm feeling great.
Freedom.
Okay, Gio, she's switching sides. She came across the pump, but now she realizes NA is just great to represent. This is 11 through 20. Now, keep note, these bonus points are still being awarded going into tomorrow for all of these rosters. It's not until you get outside of top 30, 35, I believe.
Meu Deus, cadê o Brasil, mano?
A lot of great names here as well. Who are we looking at?
Well, I'm looking at Team Exiles, honestly. I know Dream, this is kind of one of your teams that you really love too. Of course, Huskers, Brolic, and Jackal.
Tudo controle esses caras aí, mano.
EWs, we even heard some smack talk happening, but 13th, after sort of the performances they've had, is really, really nice.
Yeah, and for me though, Super Evan, right? Like you're looking at their group stages, their performances 5th, 6th, 2nd. I mean, even in the regionals, and just the fact that, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, for Super Evan, I really thought he was unlocked, but for Outer Eyes, this is his first LAN, right? So
sure.
Another first LAN. I hope to maybe see a little bit of a comeback from them tomorrow.
And shout out to V8. I know Enigma was really big on them. They finished in 15th, destroyed his roster in 16th place. They had a big moment, I believe, in game number 4, maybe game number 3, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, final zone, they come in and finish top 4, but they did so in explosive fashion. Well done to them and all the rosters. They ended up getting bonus points going into tomorrow. They're going to be valuable because you never know how many games we're going to get in the match point format. As far as eliminations go, though, I wonder what the top list is looking like. We've been following it all day. Well, Hisoka and Biffle.
39 kills, mano.
But they're not the only 2 who ended up being on that list.
No, I mean, you can see a lot of these teams here. I got to shout out.
Com 25, Aidan.
You have a number of other players. You got Dongi and...
Meu Deus, cadê o Adrian, mano? O Adrian ficou em posição, velho, de kills.
Here on our top eliminations, right, to join up. This really, when you look at this board, I know it sounds stupid and very straightforward, but it's the teams
Só que é bicho, velho.
are usually our top teams because they are the people taking advantage of that placement multiplier and really, you know, saying, hey, we have a large number of kills. Let's go ahead. Let's multiply that by 1.8.
I love that you said that because I'm seeing like their collective duos, right? The teams that have their duos, they're winning their engagements, their chemistry is on point, and the anchor players are staying alive. So I mean, even on this, right, we don't see Unrational up there, but he was still doing exactly what he needed to do for Scummin and Dongi to do their thing.
The thing I find really interesting about this is that Hisoka actually wasn't that high up the elimination leaderboard until very much the latter half of the day. It was really Biffle who was kind of taking that the top spot, and then I think it was after either drop 4 or drop 5, Hisoka just shot up. And you know, deserved, like he's been playing like a madman, but it's really interesting. We look at it and we're like, oh yeah, of course he's at the top, but you know, that was that came at the second half of the day.
I want to even say in the last 2 games, like 23 eliminations.
Yeah, something like that.
Like his last 2 games were absolutely nutty, and we started seeing him heat up, especially after he started shooting bodies. He is just, man, when he heats up, and that's always been Hisoka. That's just a Hisoka way, right? Well, that's it, right, when it comes to bonus points. The 6 games have concluded. Now let's start gearing up for Solo YOLO. One winner to take it all, $50,000. Who's it going to be? Well, before we get into the current Solo YOLO, let's take a step back in time and look at the reactions from the other Solo YOLO competitions.
1 versus 1. Hits the stun. Down for the win. He gets it.
Does shield.
He wins it. He wins it. Scum gets the dub. Oh my gosh, he's going crazy.
Players 1-on-1.
Oh, he runs out of ammo. He runs out of ammo. No way. Blade wins it. It's FIFA and Pi. And there's a kill. FIFA. This time FIFA able to get it. He gets the win. Magicians in a dream. Skullface goes huge from a gift from Sage and then well-earned cash. Skullface is your solo YOLO winner.
There's been a lot of solo YOLO winners, without question, but Skullface winning that moment in London was incredible. The confetti.
Agora é a hora da premiação, mano. A hora que todo mundo quer.
All of it was just absolutely magical. Skullface, man, that's my guy. Unfortunately, he's not here today, so we will have a new winner for sure coming through. Now, we do have FIFA and Blade who are going to be competing today, and they are previous solo YOLO winners, so they have a chance to, I believe, be the first to ever win 2 solo YOLOs and will earn a lot of money in their bag. We'll see they'll be able to do so, but so many great competitors actually do want to start queuing.
Anderson Santos, e aí, salve, mano. Aqui acompanhando o Mundial aqui, mano.
Is going to take the solo YOLO. Is it going to be the peak?
Acompanhando o triunfo majestoso do grande Hisoka, do Shift e do Biffle. Jogaram demais, mano. Felizmente o BR continua daquele jeito, né, mano? Ele vai ficar só sonhando com um dia, quem sabe, talvez um time brasileiro chegue no Mundial com... Não, a palavra não é gana, mano, de ganhar, né? É condições de competir, mano.
Hisoka. Now, listen, I know I said earlier it's an easy pick Hisoka, but I actually got bread on this one, man.
Seja bem-vindo, Anderson Santos.
Warzone player. I think I know. He has played so many hours of pubs just on this map. He knows.
O Mundial foi lindo, mano. Foi maravilhoso.
He knows how to do it. I'm going with Breadman, my dude.
Going with Breadman. That is a solid pick. Actually, we're going to do things a little bit different. Last year we had a Will. This year we've got a randomizer, and I think that's the best way to do it. Let's bring up our randomizer. We've got everybody right here. We got the solo YOLO wild card, and in fact, whammy, no whammy. Who's it going to be? Do we say stop? Gio, I think you just got to say stop if I'm not mistaken. Oh, we want to stop.
Gromalok.
Solid pick. I'll go ahead and put that there in the bank. We'll put a post-it in it. Can we get another one potentially?
Eles nem falam dos jogadores BR, mano. Na moral, velho.
All right, on camp. Hey, Gromalok is the pick. Gromalok is the winner, okay? And we'll see if he's going to take the victory. Hey, Gromalok's a solid pick. What do you think, Dream? Gromalok, they're getting it done? No, you got somebody else. Okay, that's fine. Who do you got?
Well, you know, I was thinking.
Assim, gente, eu fico triste pelo cenário do BR, mano, que eu já falava vários dias aí nas lives já, mano, que a gente não tinha condições nenhuma. Pra você ver, gente, a classificação, as eliminatórias da pré-fase pro Mundial já foi terrível, mano. Já foi sofrível. Imagine esses jogadores no Mundial, mano.
I think
é terrível.
Let's see, who do you think is going to win out of 120?
Listen, I'm going to do this more as a personal favor. I caused a bit of a stir in the EMEA finals when I said that FIFA Kill was cooked.
FIFA Kill.
He's told me this weekend that we have generational beef. So I'm going to predict him as an apology for saying he's cooked. But if he doesn't get it, he really is cooked. Okay?
He really is cooked.
I respect it.
This is his last chance.
Okay, last chance. All right, for me, I'm feeling sentimental. I remember Aiden being a huge conversation in nearly all of our conversations when it comes to solo YOLO, mainly because of the Riot Shield. So take that for what you will. This year, I'm going to go with Aiden as my prediction. I think Aiden's going to win that $50,000. And he's probably going to buy a new watch to put on.
$1 milhão, mano. Meu Deus. Dividindo para 3, né? 5 milhões de reais. Teve cara em terceiro lugar. É, mano. Se recuperaram, né, mano? Mas falta muito, mano. A diferença da pontuação foi muito grande, mano. Tá ligado, velho? Isso impacta pra mim em servidor, mano. Não tem servidor no BR, mano. Não tem servidor pra BR jogar isso, mano. A gente gosta do jogo, a gente se dedica ao jogo. Eu jogo 4 horas por dia, mano. No meu auge eu jogava 4 horas por dia. Mas complicado, mano. Complicado, mano. Eu no meu auge, né? Os meninos que são profissionais aí, o Nano, o Tabacudo, eles jogam 6, 8 horas por dia, mano. Eles vivem disso, né, mano?
But alternatively,
Eu acho que o cara sai meio abalado, mano. Na moral, desse Mundial desse jeito aí, o cara sai meio abalado, mano. O cara não vai demonstrar que saiu abalado, mano. Mas o cara sai meio abalado, mano.
yeah, case of water.
Desempenho é tudo, mano. Como jogador de futebol, mano. Se você joga bem, você tá com a moral lá em cima, mano. Você dá um drible errado, mano, e a bola vai certo, mano. Tá ligado?
Anyways, with that being said, Solo Yellow, it's absolutely incredible. I'm thinking though, what is the way to win?
Aí $1 milhão ganha a primeira equipe, né, mano? Os outros ganham mais, né? Ganham também, né? Uma premiaçãozinha. Acredito que ganha uma premiaçãozinha bem bacana também. Até o terceiro, quarto, quinto lugar.
Okay, so Geos get the most kills, which is a bit spicy actually. Dandra, what are you thinking?
I think we have a lot of stuff in this sandbox that can really help you actually trying to go
A
for
transmissão foi muito da hora, mano. Foi um show.
playing solo, so we aren't in the World Series of Warzone playlist.
Lembrando que eles já aproveitam esses pontos, né? Já que eles ficaram em terceiro lugar em uma das partidas. E já somam já pro próximo Mundial, né, mano? Pra classificatória, né?
You rat it up. Throw
Qualify, né?
grab that reclaimer, grab one of those shotguns, the full auto one, throw the dragon's breath on it, just get real toxic. Why not? You haven't been able to get here. We're gonna see bouncing betties, claymores, just
O
everything.
único jogo, mano, que tem servidor aqui no Brasil só é o Free Fire, mano.
About this, there's a
O
lot
resto é só servidor terceirizado, mano. Não é nem servidor real, é servidor terceirizado.
You know, like, you know, it's like when it's 5 a.m. You're in your basement at home and you've got Cheetos, like, you know, it's like that kind of vibe. Like,
My strategy, I would say, my strategy,
Yeah, sure.
all right, to win this is you got to feel yourself, all right?
Okay.
And you'll see some of these players talk
Aí tem gente que diz assim, não, pô, vai PC, tem que ter um PC pra rodar 300 FPS. Não é isso não, meu irmão. Não é isso não, que o PC do Nano é muito bom. O PC dos garotos aqui do BR são muito bons. Aí o problema é servidor.
and you have to stay alive. What do you do for all that time, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can hear things, maybe grab a vehicle, okay? We see a lot of people in the solo YOLOs previously have a vehicle to get around, but at the end of the day, stay alive and vibe with yourself.
Vibe with yourself. The more time that I spend with myself, I do start to hear things. And, it gets quite scary, so I try not to spend too much time alone, all right? Well, there's a lot of ways to win, Solo YOLO. The question is, what is the way that they will win, and what would you be doing to take your own victory out there? Because, again, Skullface, he had his chance to win, and he absolutely owned it over in London. Now, we watched this take place, Daniel.
BR Solos.
This was just actually such like a big brain play from Skull to have these two players down below.
O Skullface jogou demais, mano.
I don't think they realized Skull was up there, so he kind of waits and he's able to just pounce like a pit viper out of nowhere to clean up the rest of it. It was just absolutely beautiful, and honestly, there was no one more poised to take this because Skullface was the king of solos, okay? He would just be, I swear, I couldn't sleep sometimes. I'd open up my app, my Twitch app, and it'd be like 3:30.
Eu torci pros BRs, mano. Eu tava torcendo mesmo pro Aidan, mano. O Aidan.
Go to bed, please.
Hey, for what it's worth, and I do want to.
Eu sabia que os BRs não iam chegar longe, mano. É muito difícil, mano. É a mesma coisa que você. Um exemplo. Vou dar um exemplo bem claro. Você é um jogador de futebol, um exemplo, Flamengo. Eu não sou Flamengo, não, eu sou vascaíno. Você tem um time bom, o Flamengo é um time bom, organizado, tudinho. Aí vai jogar lá em La Paz, na altitude, contra o Bolívar, mano. Mano, ele vai perder ou ele vai empatar, mano. Ele vai ganhar, mano. Na altitude, mano. É desonesto, mano.
If he doesn't win this, he is officially cooked. He's actually cooked. But even more important, if he does win, he would be the only competitor in solo YOLO history to win 2 solo YOLO events, netting himself quite a bit. I believe it was 100,000, if I'm not mistaken, for the last one he won. So $150,000 earned. Dandro, you're going Breadman. Do you always go Breadman? There's somebody.
Me.
You always go
Yeah, I
bread,
usually
man.
go. Yeah. But last year I think it was Tiff that said Skullface, and then I said bread, and I said brother. But yeah, we're gonna switch it up this year.
Switch it up this year, and you go over towards Juki's.
Yeah.
Which I'm never mad at.
Yeah, you can't be mad at him.
You can't be
he
mad
knows
at
how to
him.
win his ones. He knows how to stay alive. But the one thing again is I feel like that could potentially forward the solo YOLO, whoever wins.
Okay.
Those rotations with those vehicles, I really think we're going to see a lot of vehicles. I mean, we always, every single year, right?
So vehicles.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
O NG Vieira foi o...
It's going to be important.
Foi do lugar do padrinho. Aí será se o padrinho...
Once again, all the ways to win. So
será se o padrinho ia fazer a mudança?
once again, reactions have been called by so
Padrinho.
throughout all of the
Mano, pra começar, mano, eu acho assim, eu vou dar opinião minha. Aquilo que fizeram com o Bladex foi uma sacanagem, mano. Tá ligado, mano? Eu acho que no fundo, o NG foi, mano. O NG é o cara que eu admiro muito. Mas ele pegou um pepino, mano, tá ligado, mano? Era bom que o padrinho fosse, mano, tá ligado? Eu tava torcendo pra que o padrinho fosse, mano. Eu não tava torcendo pro time do padrinho, não, mano. Eu tava torcendo pro time do Nano, tá ligado? Nano Tabacudo. O time que eu sou torcedor aqui do Brasil é esse time aí, mano. Mas se o padrinho fosse, eu não ia torcer pra ele, não, mano. Sacanagem no Brasil já baixa os políticos, mano. Eu acho que um time, mano, nunca pode ser destruído, mano, por um problema, mano. Todo problema tem que ser resolvido, mano. Todo problema que a gente tiver em família, mano, a gente for jogar nossa sogra fora ou jogar nossa esposa fora, mano, tá fudido, mano. Ou o filho ou a filha. Eu acho que é foda, mano. Se bem que o cara não era nada disso dele, né, mano? Irmão ou primo, nada. Mas eu acho que foi uma puta sacanagem que fizeram com o Bladex, mano. Eu acho que quem faz aqui, mano, paga aqui, mano. Eu pago tá aí hoje. O NG foi o intermediador, né, mano, da briga toda, né, mano? Foi o intermediador, tentou acalmar os ânimos. Gente, a gente é amigo, tal. E o padrinho lá, fez a cabeça dos caras lá, pintou o maior demônio do cara lá, que o cara era um cara indisciplinado e tal. Queria fazer o que queria cuidar mais do canal dele lá. Não, pô. Deus tá abençoando o cara lá, mano, no canal dele lá, velho. Tá ligado? Deus, ele abençoa todo mundo. Agora o que fizeram com o Bladex não se faz, mano. Não se faz, mano.
So we are going to continue to yap and just keep it going because it's just having fun. Watching Warzone all day. That's what it's all about. The best competitors in the world. We've waited so long since last year to get to this very stage. And, well, now that we're here, I'm loving every single bit of it. We've had some wonderful...
Eu queria estar assistindo a live do Bladex hoje, mano. Só pra ver a cara dele, mano. Eu acho que a galera tá embaçando lá na live dele, entendeu, mano? Tá embaçando pra caralho, velho. E aí? Bladex.
Every single elimination throughout solo YOLO. And I don't know if any of them will be happy, but hopefully
Fico triste pelo Nano, mano, que o Nano, ele é um cara que eu sou fãzaço dele, mano, tá ligado? Se bem que a galera tá pegando no pé também. Ah, essa joga com programa. Essa joga com programa. Mas eu sou fã do Nano de verdade mesmo, velho. O NG Vieira eu fiquei com pena, mano. Porque o NG Vieira ele não consegue demonstrar emoção nenhuma, mano, quando tá jogando. Nem perdendo, nem ganhando, mano. Acho que não vai sentir, ele não vai sentir. Mas o time do padrinho vai sentir, mano. O time do padrinho, né, mano?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have fun, right? Do something to unwind after the day, kind of get your night started, because I know a lot of these guys, they're gonna go back to their hotel rooms, they're gonna hit the vibe.
O Aidan aí, mano. Ele joga demais esse Aidan, mano.
Tomorrow, so being able to just have
Frustrado também pelo Adrian, mano. O Adrian não conseguiu render nada, mano, nesse Mundial, na moral.
as well, so it's nice, just like fun content for their stream as well, just to kind of be able to watch that, be alongside their favorite competitor.
Esperava mais do Adrian, mano, e o time dele. O time dele é bem balanceado.
Having fun, you're playing well, and I fully agree with that philosophy from Z Smith. That was after Aiden and Co.'s Game 5 win. Congratulations to them, second place in that game number 6. Go to your point, though. Yes, each individual perspective is being streamed. We do appreciate you being here on the main broadcast. However, if you're hanging out with us, I love that, Gio, that every individual creator gets a chance to stream. I'm not going to do the math, but what, 140 players up there, plus their streaming setup, that's 280 computers on that stage. It did it instantly. I didn't even know how I did that. But 280 computers. But Gio, to connect with their audience like that is pretty special while competing for so much money in front of an amazing crowd.
No, I think it's so cool. And I think that's one of the really nice things actually about like the Warzone community overall is it's a very interactive community in terms of like how it likes to just, you know, it's a very loyal, kind of loyal followings, and people are really into these players that they follow. And I think, you know, when
Pescoço joga muito, o Flames também.
earlier on, who's been
Não fica atrás. É verdade, mano.
and between like the culture of the scene and the players and whatnot, and it all feels very close. Like it makes everybody feel like they're all a part of it. So even for those of you at home,
Eu acho que ele vai se preparar para o próximo Mundial, mano.
feel like
Tá ligado? Eu não sei se ele vai conseguir se classificar, mano. Mas se ele conseguir montar um time bacana, mano. Eu acho que ele com um time melhor, ele rende mais que esse time do padrinho aí, mano. Na moral.
because I just think that
Eu tenho quase certeza que o Bladex com um time melhor, ele rende mais.
content side of things, and they do a lot of streaming as well. The fact that the biggest thing in their
A partir de amanhã eu vou começar a montar meu time, mano. Eu vou começar a montar meu time pensando no próximo Mundial também. Vou começar a focar.
I'm joking. Come on, let's get into Solo Yellow right now. I'm ready to get it going. Who's going to earn $50,000? Let's send it over to our casters, Spider, Tiff, and Goj.
Wow, what a great segment talking about the Solo Yellow. You know what they didn't ask is who we were going for, Tiff. So I have one word for everybody out there. I'm a bandwagon fan. I think we all know it. I never like to be wrong. So I am repping the bread today, all right? It's Breadman all day, Cloud9 till I die. I'm not biased. Or wait, yes, I am.
Hey, look, you gotta love it. And as soon as I saw Brett tweet this out, he was like, look, Lola cooked. Let me tell you about this shirt. And can we like just see how many different...
A Cloud9, mano. Camisa bonita.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, I can't count very well, but there we go. Now we just need a little bit of maybe some Ringo.
Device. É o time da história, mano.
Give me 5 breads. Why not? I can name all different types of
Vai
bread.
ter outra queda, hein?
No questions asked. Artisan, whole wheat, white.
Sourdough. Sure. Yeah, just keep going there.
Gouda.
But let's be real, because we've got a Solo YOLO $50,000 on the line. Anything goes, Goj. We're going to see riot shields. We're going to see chaos. We're going to see a bloodbath. But who's going to take it all? Let's find out.
Tempinho, os caras foram tomar uma água, já voltaram.
Well, good evening, Vegas, and good evening, Urzikstan. We're going to be starting with Breadman. Thank you, production. Thank you very much. Folks, we're going to be taking a look at all the streamer POVs because they've got beautiful faces. They're probably talking to their chats. And, well, it's solos. We don't care about a team because there isn't one. You alone, you are on an island, and frankly, you've got a lot to prove and a ton to earn. And already, it looks like Otterize is getting into the mix and taking down Aiden, sitting into the gulag.
Wow, man. You remember like some of the content we put out and we were talking about the Solo YOLO in particular. It was Aiden who said, I'm kind of owed one at this point. Second to Scump back in 2021 and E700 on the other side. Do or die.
Every gulag matters. This is do or die. And Aiden, nice shots down lane. Both players' shields cracked. Where do you go from here? He's going to push the equation. Aiden gets the gunfight, and Aiden wins the gunfight. What did I say earlier? You go to the gulag against Aiden, it's not a good time.
I mean, E700 down and out. No 50K for you. We're already to 117. And, well, Otterize spectating here. King AJ still in the mix, coming back from the gulag. And I almost feel like I can see the pain in his eyes from that.
Yeah, Otter, I think, got killed off rip and then lost gulag. I'm not sure, but unfortunately out. Now, we go to the King, the player at the top. Obviously, the Falcons just won by 80 some odd points in day one. This is the most earned Warzone player of all time, and he's done it in an unbelievable fashion. Will he retire? Maybe if he wins this 50K, he'll say, yeah, I'm done. See you later.
Look, hear me out. I was seeing some tweets on the timeline, and, well, Shifty himself said, hey, if I win this, I'm going to go drop 50K on Black.
Okay. All right, Shifty. Hold your horses, my man. That's a lot of money. All right. I mean, you do you. We'll see. Biffle's talking, saying, okay, we're in pop-up maybe, or maybe there's people in pop-up.
Oh, here we are.
All right, Shifty. Look, it would be pretty interesting to see, you know, the Falcons win day one. One of them win the Solo YOLO, and then win tomorrow as well. I mean, talk about inevitable. Jeez.
I always feel like somebody's watching me, and when you've got a precision airstrike and we're actually doubling down, using it as binoculars, just lurking, not shooting, not want to give your positions away, and well, the LTB incoming. Please tell me that that's not Biffle, right? We saw him kind of lurking amongst.
True. It could be. I'm not really sure. I'm just here for a good time and a long time. Folks, I'm going to be honest. The only thing that matters right now is that, well, we've lost, it looks like 10 players out of this lobby. And gulags are going to be key. And otherwise, none of these kills matter. It's about setting yourself up for the end game. We can talk strategy all day long, but there's going to be a crazy amount of players alive in this end game. And I think my question is, what circle will we get? If it's city, it's going to be nuts. If it's wide out in the open, it might not be as chaotic, and vehicles will be key.
Well, down into the bunker we go. You can see that red outline on the mini-map. That means we're popping up on a UAV, and, well, we're spotted there, and that's kind of unfortunate, right? Constantly having that influx of pressure, but this is where you've got to ice it up. And, hey, you talked a lot of game earlier in the trios, but now you got to stand on it in the solos.
I mean, if he's been doing anything today, he's certainly been standing on business, so
100%.
I'm sure he is not afraid of this fight. We're going to take his time. We'll take our time checking out all the POVs that we can. Everybody's important, but the Falcons, of course, on top, getting cut.
Eu já fui muito fã do Flames, o Flames joga muito. Agora eu acho que o Pescoçudo é melhor do que ele, mano, na moral. O Pescoçudo é acima. Olha, entre o Pescoçudo, o Flames e o Arinho, o mais fraco que tem é o Arinho. O Arinho Boga, mano. O Arinho Boga é muito fraquinho. Ele se acha muito, mas ele é muito fraquinho. O Flames, ele é um talento, mano. E o nosso Pescoçudo Bledex, mano, ele é acima da média. Também é um talento. Muito bom. Muito bom jogador.
To give out, and I talked a lot about it. I thought Bredman yesterday at dinner. I was saying DJ Moss during the series, but then I remembered something. Think back to last year. Skullface does win, right?
Right.
You remember that initial gulag? There was a man named Sage who's currently on our stage that gifted a gulag to him, to a lot of controversy in the Copper Box Arena. Maybe Sage is owed one.
That is a great call. The amount that I got booed, it didn't quite rival Dandro, but it was close. I got booed so much, and I was like, oh, that's a good-hearted thing. Nobody wants to see that. Come on, Goat, you Dumbo. But it's a great call. I think Sage could win this one. Obviously, a fantastic player, and frankly, he's kind of known for being really good at playing his life as a solo. So I mean, we'll see.
Well, a bounty currently on Enkyo, currently up on your screen, and well, that's kind of unfortunate. And we want to see some real powerhouse moves from the French here. They had some good, strong plays in that roster. I mean, top 5, right? Magnificent for them, but at 50,000. But Shifty is out. No 50K on Black. Comes back in from the gulag. Chows for the high ground and seems to have it, but it is Zeppa who ice in the veins takes that 1v1. I mean, we know Zeppa's been around throughout a long time, thinking on just multiplayer side of things, challengers, and well, now we see why.
Thunder from down under. Australians came to play. Nice take. Wiping Shifty out of the map. You got to be feeling untouchable right now. I was about to say, let's check him out. Let's see what's going on. Looks like a couple people looking at his loadout though, and guess what? It's solo. You take your loadout, it goes away. Luckily, there's another one there to hide behind and still looking nice and good. Now, the other thing I love about looking at our streamer POVs too, we actually get to see who has been to the gulag, right? So we still have that gulag token there, which means Zep can go to the gulag. There's a lot that could happen in this solos playlist. Dandro perfectly called that out. It's chaos, right?
Yeah.
This is not World Series of Warzone Trios playlist. You're gonna see C4s again. You know, there's all types of stuff happening potentially for these players. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of C4s. We get a quick glance at the map. Very central. Some counter UAVs out towards the northeastern side of things to give you more information on where players are, because it is all about gathering that information and resource management towards the end game. And when you kind of situate yourself out here on this coastline, on the outskirts of Zeravan City, this is where you can look for teams that are kind of, I say teams, it's just a solo. There's no teams involved. It's all betrayals all the time.
O Arinho é muita teoria. Dicas e tudo mais. Já o Blade e o Flames é fora da curva. Só queria um X1 dos dois.
Portion of that team, a really strong.
Sem perder a amizade.
Also very good at.
Concordo plenamente, Anderson.
Sleeper pick.
Concordo, mano.
Looking super comfortable right now with the PA on his head, but luckily this building holds true. He was able to stay alive and then just hang out here for a little while. Again, this is what most players are going to be doing. If you think this is slow, it's because it is.
Muitos momentos eu vejo também o Arinho um pouco arrogante, mano, tá ligado? Acho que se ele fosse mais um pouco humilde, mano, tá ligado? Pelo público que ele tem, mano, ele prosperaria muito mais, mano, na moral. O Arinho ficou muito desumilde, mano. Quando o cara começa a ganhar dinheiro, mano, o cara fica meio que desumilde mesmo. Não é normal, né, mano? Tem pessoas que é foda, mano.
Biffle, maybe a team that wants to get hyper aggro and looking for the first elimination.
Pessoas que não podem ver dinheiro, né, mano?
Later, Rocket.
Bye bye Rocket. Now,
Tem nada contra ele, mano.
win the wild card game, so there's a chance they can maybe sneak one out, one of those players. But to the Gulag we go. These are the most important fights, folks. Louis CM on the other side of XMQ from the APAC region, trying to represent an entire region nearly on his lonesome. See what he's able to do. Unfortunately,
Eu acho que um time perfeito aí, mano. Sabe o que era, mano? Pra esse Mundial brasileiro aí, velho. Vou dizer meu time perfeito, mano. Tony Boy, GPG e Ninex, mano. Ninex, mano. Olha. Eu acho que esse time botaria pra fuder, mano, nos gringos, mano. Na moral. Eu tô dizendo que o NG Vieira, nem o time do Nano não são fortes, não, mano. Só acho que esse time daí, mano, era mais pica, mano. Eu acho que os gringos não ia ser fácil pros gringos, não, mano. Tá ligado? Porque o GPG é rushador, mano. O Tony é outro rushador, mano. E o Ninex, mano, é um doente, mano. Por quê, mano? O cara, mano, esse jogo aí, mano, pro cara se considerar ser um pro player, mano, o cara tem que ser doente por kill, mano. E o Ninex, mano, o Tony Boy e o GPG, velho. O GPG, ele com pistola, ele é um perigo, mano. Pistola na mão, ele é um perigo, mano. Só pra você ter uma ideia, mano. Eu digo que assisto as lives dele, mano. Esses meninos são bons, mano. Mas eu acho que esse time daí, os caras se aposentou, mano. É, esse aqui é o problema, mano. Os caras se aposentou, mano. Se esses caras voltassem a jogar, mano, com aquele tesão que tinha lá no Warzone 1, mano. Tá louco, mano. Os caras eram bravos demais, mano. Os caras jogavam arrumadinho ali, ó. Jogava fácil, mano. Os caras se aposentou por causa dessa Zone 2, mano. Essa Zone 2 aí fudeu tudo, mano, na moral.
Perfect, at least on main stage. Now, again, I kind of let out an exclamatory phrase there for a moment. The fact that we know the end zone is wild. And so we get a chance to look at some of these players, and you're right, Zeppa, it's a good call near this end zone in a great spot. He's going to be hanging out here for a very long time.
But he doesn't have foresight.
That's true.
He doesn't have that information. This is just the craziest guess. Like, that is a gamble if I've ever seen one. Maybe he should have been the one putting 50K on black.
Okay. We are in Vegas, after all. Fair enough. Zeppa certainly will be excited about a win if he's able to get it in the best position right now. Now, I will say a lot of these players will start figuring out where they need to go. This is the player, of course, they're going to have to run into if they try to rotate over here. One thing is for certain, a couple of UAVs could maybe rat him out potentially. I think a couple people already know he's up here. He's going to have to fight off the hordes. I mean, it's going to look like zombies here in a little bit. He's got a riot shield just in case. And there's going to be everybody trying to swarm to this building once they figure out what the end zone will be.
It's a bunker buster going on and a 1v1 over the buy station, but Biffle on the move. Can't be too cautious, right? This has got to be one of the most nerve-wracking things, hitting that rotate. We spot one off, jumping off the rooftop over by that building, and well, I like that we're hugging this bridge side. You see them on the roof, but how do we close the gap? We don't have any smokes currently equipped, and maybe none in the backpack right now, but we do have 2 thermites and a precision airstrike, and we are just going to snake our way over.
Yeah, I think, though, we're watching. Biffle doesn't have nerfs. Those don't exist for this man. Most well-learned player, most learned player in history, best player ever on paper. He's getting pushed, and so he decides to mortar and ward off this LTV. Again, based on that end zone, Tiff, I mean, we have a moment here. Efficacy of vehicles, maybe not as much as we expected. I think a lot of these folks are thinking about taking vehicles to the end circle, but with the zone that they have, there are some buildings in the area. Might help them for the final circle. We'll see.
Keeping your eyes out, and we decide maybe we don't want to push towards that side.
Cooked.
Yeah, we are looking a little cooked. Okay, so we confirm none in the backpack. We are cooked.
Up that running restock.
Biffle is talking bad about restock and solo.
He's got cold-blooded, though. I mean, look, you see Bird's Eye, cold-blooded. I can't see too much behind the name, but clearly no restock. And, well, someone looking to mirror that rotation, dancing around, resolute to try and keep him alive, but that's a knock if I've ever seen one. Hopefully, you've got Gulag left on the other side.
There's the cleanup. Nice wipe.
At least he apologizes. Does he actually mean it, though?
Hey, you don't need kills. Yeah. See you in the end game. Slowly but surely, we'll see if the tortoise or the hare wins this race. Who's there first, who's there last? Could go either direction at this point, but Biffle on the edge of zone, looking for a couple more pieces of prey out in the distance and not finding anybody else. Biding his time, so we're gonna check out Zeppa back on high ground. Back in a great spot, apparently spotting a couple down below.
He will need to rotate just a little bit, but honestly, where we saw that on Foresight, it shores up right around this area. And with that big game bounty, you know, being disappeared from it, it's crazy because he's currently on 5 eliminations. Gio on the desk was like, no, I want to see someone that has fragged their way. Look, Aiden's back.
Wait, it's Aiden
against Youngsters.
Versus Young? Oh, these guys used to be friends.
Here, okay, look, he goes, Aiden's going to play fast. I can already tell. And this is the same peak that everyone's taken on Aiden.
I'm sure they still are friends, by the way, but not right now. Aiden pushing the equation, punished!
Oh my god!
Aiden, back to the gulag this time, finally loses.
I forgot, chat, don't back out, because we might get jump right.
That is, wow.
Oh.
Five head, big brain. Aiden says, we might get jailbreak. I don't know if there's anybody back there that can pull the strings. I'm in for a jailbreak. I don't know if the audience is, but I am in for a jailbreak.
I do love a little bit of a chaotic ending. Think of it, maybe Circle 7. Everyone sees an influx. We already know where it's going thanks to some of the players having foresight, but Youngsta's back feet on the ground, recoups the STG, and it's really interesting to see kind of the different iterations of what players have kind of cooked up to use here in this solo YOLO. I couldn't even imagine winning $50,000 from one game.
Yeah, well, to the action we go, because as expected, the zombie hordes are here. 4 and Jace gets cut down. I believe it's a mortar from distance. Maybe Jace's, maybe somebody else's. It's able to take down Zeppa. He does have a self-revive. You called it. Resource management. Everything's okay if you're
There's
Zeppa.
another one.
And has another one based on his opponent, giving him a freebie. So thank you, Jace. We appreciate you. Zeppa has 8 eliminations, by the way. Easily will go up into double digits in this map, I can only assume, because everybody wants this building and any other building in zone going into 4th and 5th. Also, eyes on the top left-hand corner of your screen as people flying in. This gulag is closing shortly. This map's about to get a whole lot more dicey.
Okay, good. We saw Gromalok, the randomizer, picked Grom to win, and unfortunately down and out. Maybe able to just snake into the gulag if they had that token available to them. But for now, all eyes on Zeppa, just reaping the area of the lobby. Time is of the essence, though, and I'd be really curious to see, is anyone else going to make a play for it? We're just going to dive right on over, not connecting any shots. That's fine. It's kind of quite windy in Urzikstan today.
I mean, at this point, if you're in the area, you know Zeppa's up here. And the problem is it's really hard to jump on him when you're the only player on your team. Now, go to Almond. I'm not sure, but also a rat in this moment. Biding his time. Again, this is the Falcons Mina squad with Almond. Fnatic might not be here, but they might be here in spirit. If Almond can get this win, and LTV rolling up on him is not a great sign, and several vehicles in the area.
Look, I want an open end game, and obviously we're not going to get it, because you imagine how many vehicles just kind of lock it on in, but to just come in as a sub for a roster and then maybe potentially snake away a win in the solo YOLO, that's a story in itself.
Yeah, we take those. We take those if we're Almond. We'll see, though. A lot of ground to make up. Now, folks, the gulag is officially closed. This is where it's going to get real weird real quick. We still have 63 players remaining. Frankly, that's a hair less than I expected at this point. But based on this zone, there's a decent amount of cover on the fringes of it. The center, though, is that stadium. It's that soccer pitch or football pitch. Wherever you're from, I don't care. There's a big field there out in the open. You don't want to be there. You want to be on the edges of it.
I just love how we're back to seeing like thermals, because you know all the smokes towards the end game.
Yeah.
You want to be able to see. No smokes in the pocket for him, though, and we just have to be a bit more casualties on the screen. We already saw Gromalok have some issues earlier, but maybe he can clutch it up.
Playing edge of zone as well, looking for maybe a bit of high ground for some info. As per the usual, information is key. Right now, no UAVs to spare and no recon drones either. So this is going to be a tough rotate in with 55 people still in this lobby. But that number is dwindling drastically with this gulag closed.
I think they're all sitting in a Discord chat together and kind of talking about each other, because I don't see Heats' mouth moving. This is not the comms. We are locked in. We are making that rotation go forward here. And look, here, just gonna clear it on out, shut the door. I didn't realize the haunting of Urzikstan had already occurred, and goodbye, 4 and Jace. The read on that.
Wow, all right, Heats. He's already pulled some clutch moments. That's another one to add to his book. That's 4 kills, by the way. Not that it matters, but Fun little stat, LTV behind. And again, we know the end zone is basically right where Zeppa is. Heeds is have to circle around probably to the left side, the western side of this zone to swing around potentially.
He's got some audio cues. You know someone's nearby, and will we keep on?
Jogada.
Still here trying to play off. It's his enemy dropping in, and they are so close to each other that I could only imagine they will run into each other.
Yeah, kind of on opposite sides of this one at this point. Maybe Almond swings this direction. I don't think so, though. If anything, Heeds might go that direction. We'll see. He's going to try to rotate here. Again, footsteps and everything. We're already down to 36 players, folks. We just lost 20 players in the blink of an eye. There's still a ton on the map and a lot of bridge trolls. The trolls are out, and they're actually not on the bridge. It's actually the building across, picking up Heeds in transition. Heeds is out of here. No gulags to write home about, but Almond is still lying in wait.
Musabe finished.
Jogada, mano.
And well, 34 players, and every player that falls out. The fact is we're about to be in the final 30, and well, there goes those inevitable. Oh my God, we're bringing those out. It's been a minute since I've even seen people try to use them.
Bro, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the disruptor things? I don't even know what you're looking at.
Yes, beef.
They're not even breaking out C4s. We're getting utility and killed by
What's going on?
StukeX.
StukeX takes down Biffle. Biffle's out. The last remaining member of the Falcons is Hisoka. Moving into 7th circle here shortly, and I don't hate Hisoka's position. Play around this bridge for a little while here, but we know the zone's going to pull a hair off of it, so we'll have to push this building next to him. He knows Zeppa's on top of it, and knows there's likely about 7 people in the mix in that. A big layer cake he's going to be jumping into here shortly, as now 20 players remaining on this map. Hisoka has one in his sights, but can't give away his position, can't get shot in the corner. Here's one down below as well. There's people all over the place.
Oh, he's on Dark Knight Demon time here. I mean, look, we only see the forehead cam. He's got the shots coming in. Our information has been given, but with restock, you keep resupplying, and we've got the 2 smokes. We've got the incendiaries. It's going to be brutal, and that trophy system will do wonders for the player across the way, but when you give, you take, and now we got to get away from this position.
Again, the Falcons certainly inevitable as a team. Could one of them pull out this solo YOLO? Hisoka in a bit of trouble. He's going to PA his opponent. Doesn't connect, but it runs him out of that position. Cleans up a trophy likely. Where do you go from here? You know the building, the only building in zone, and you know that there's a player at least on every floor, if not multiple. He's going to make the move here. Where is... Oh, one on the bridge still. The player didn't leave, not fully, just barely out of the mix, and that PA is a hair shallow, but it could go over the top. Hisoka in trouble. Does have a hair of cover, though. Dang.
And Shoka is down and out. Zeppa about to be in the top 10, still on this rooftop, now into the double-digit eliminations. This is crazy. Did not have foresight originally, at least for the current timing. Maybe he grabbed foresight and had it before the gulag and was able to get that information, wins it later, comes flying back on in, and has just claimed this space. But you've got to get through the streaks, right? A lot of people, they're going to throw mortars, they're going to throw bunker busters, they're going to do exactly what they can, but a 1 in 7 chance to take home $50,000 is crazy.
Here we go. Unfortunately, 120th place and 2nd place get the same amount of money. So you've gotten this far, you've made it to top 10. You still have a tall task ahead of you. Pick out a couple in transition. Well done. Flank makes it to top 10 and probably no much further, but a PA on his head. Zeppa's able to rat out to the right-hand side of it just a little bit. What I'm curious about is, does he have PDSs in his pocket? We know the zone's gonna actually pull a hair back, I believe. Jackal getting cut down from that Huskers team.
We're not getting fools, though. We never fooled flanked.
You're right.
We never fooled Jackal. We're still 6, though, which means someone else is taking out players. Okay, there goes the full.
Top 5. Not that it matters. Just gotta win. Zeppa, you've done all the work thus far. What do you do now? A PA on your head. Of course, you've got a gas mask you can play around with. It's not a durable, though, I don't think, so you don't have a ton of time.
Look, we're just yeeting thermobaric grenades, man. They burn. It's crazy, and we are saving our streaks to bring them on out. I hear the coughs in. We've got to hit that mask done, and we've got to make the play. We've got to stay healthy here, and we're taking a lot of damage. We're going to be a glass cannon, but we get into the water.
Perfect execution. PA. Smoke and run. You get to the water. You have an angle. Does he know? Sees one through the water. Doesn't get a big connect on it. Here, this zone's going to close. Wide out in space. 4 players remaining. Hollow being cut down. Hollow being eliminated. 3 players left. Zeppa has done all the work. He got here first. Can he finish the job? But PD has to try.
Os caras são muito viciados, mano, na moral, velho.
Flank cut down. It is a 1v1. Zeppa, all of the legwork. Can you finish the job? Nearly out of resources. This is looking grim for Zeppa, who's not in zone. He's got to make a play. He's got to connect on the thermobaric tip.
Oh, but what if that was a one-way? And there it is. It's
Que massa, mano.
your solo YOLO champ.
Are you kidding me? Nick Cool, with your back against the wall. You barely make it to this stage. You have to win just 1 game to get here. And then you just have to win 1 game to win $50,000? Nick Cool, my man, congratulations. That's unreal.
Without a doubt, comes in, sweeps it. Now that's a VOD review we want to see. The course of action that brings you there. And honestly, the moment we saw Zeppa behind that door, they start taking the pressure from Nick Cool, and then he kind of walks around, and even though Zeppa tries to smoke forward, it's Nick Cool who ends it all at the top. Celebrate there for Toronto Ultra.
Solo Yellow is the one place where the journey does not matter. It's only the destination. Unbelievable. Nick Cool.
Cê é louco, verdade, mano.
Let's go!
Joga muito, mano.
One, bro. We did it in the wild card and we did it in the fucking solo YOLO! Let's go! Holy shit.
Just wait till that adrenaline comes down. You're just like, oh my God, we took the wild card. I took the solo YOLO. That makes every bit.
Os caras jogam muito, mano.
Man, that has got to feel. I told you earlier, I don't even know what it looks like to have $50,000 in my bank account at this point. So to win it off 1 game of Warzone is kind of insane.
Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, this is the epitome of icing the veins. To do that back-to-back competitions, Solo YOLO here as a team in the wild card is just absolutely unreal. Nearly at a loss for words. Headed down to the stage. I believe Nick Cool's going to be collecting his check here shortly. My man repping Toronto Ultra. Proud of you, dog. I've had so much conversations with this kid. It's unreal that they got here. The roster mania, the team, Waldo, Colony, 2K, they put the team together at the last second to get to this stage. And then Nick Cool does it. Let's head down to the stage with Miles and Nick Cool to hear from our solo YOLO champion.
Well, as you would imagine, he's pretty excited after that one. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a big round of applause for Nick. Congratulations, our solo YOLO champion. How you doing, man?
Bro, unreal, man. Unreal. My voice is gone, man. I'm gonna need a big weekend for tomorrow.
You got a big day, and you've not just got a big day tomorrow, you've also got a very big check. We're gonna have it brought out in just a moment, but dude, how do you even describe what just happened?
I don't even know, man. I'm gonna have to rewatch that, you know, with the fams in the background. My family's here, man. We're gonna rewatch that tonight. I don't even know what to say.
Well, you gotta find a place to put this as well. Congratulations.
Alô, mano. Boa noite, mano. Anderson Santos.
Champion $50,000 richer for not coming in second.
Just
All right, solo YOLO winner is in, and it is Nick Cool making it happen. And man, that has to feel so good. We got a lot of money on the desk, man, and a lot of money coming out for $50,000 for Nickel. Tantro, it's been a long day. Tantro, talk to me as we are just throwing money around, literally $100 bills. You were losing your mind when Nick Cool won that 1v1 at the end.
So not only is Nick Cool a phenomenal player, he's also like actually a very good friend of mine. And to see him clutch that up, dude, Whew, I'm just a fan of Warzone, man, and I love seeing him. And you heard him even say it in that celebration. They won the wild card map of the NALCQ. That's not how they wanted to be here, but it's how they got here.
That's
and
right.
for him to be able to come in and win the solo YOLO is insane. Might I add, a mouse and keyboard player, one of the few that we have here today. I couldn't be happier for the kid, and I am super excited to be able to catch up with him here in a little bit.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, $50,000, 6th place, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in the standings for that roster. We talked about, obviously, their route to make it as a trio, but this has to make them feel good. But Zeppa, let's talk about the heartbreaking loss from Zeppa. He lived for as long as he possibly could, Gio, on that rooftop with basically every piece of equipment you needed to be successful in. Well, he lost the final fight, the one that mattered most.
Yeah, and he actually held on for a little while. It was a very tenacious effort because when he jumped down from the rooftop, he went down into the water, he was so close to death, survived it, and we were like, wow, this guy could actually take it all the way. And once it came down to that final two, it was just, I don't know how to describe the tension that I felt. And I think you could even see it in the face cam on Nick Cool's camera, because he was like, his eyes widened and he was like, oh my god, Zeppa had held on for so long.
Yeah, and Zeppa, even to get there, like you had mentioned, Gio, like it was absolutely insane. He took down Hollow, I believe, and then he took down Flame, like coming down off the mountain through Parkway, like having to rotate, smoking forward. But yes, from Nick Cool, a mouse and keyboard player, and just rightfully so, the win that they needed to hopefully add some extra momentum tomorrow.
I hope so.
And you're seeing even the use of the thermal there, but I actually think it's Zeppa on that rotation. When he goes to shoot flanked, that was probably his downfall. It let Nick Cool know exactly where he was, because you saw he just made that read so easily.
That's right, he made the read, and I was like actually thinking to myself, watching Zeppa's perspective, I'm like, where is Nick? Like, well, where's the final guy? I didn't even know Nick was. I'm like, where's this final guy? And I'm expecting some cheese. Like, he's out there in the gas, PDSs galore, and like stems, and you know, he's just gonna try and survive it and met it out. But no,